The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Good morning. The National Security Minister wants answers. Monroe wants to know how a woman ended up in the same cell as a man and ended up being indecently assaulted. And he's urging anyone who has a complaint with the police, especially those in recent viral video, to come forward. Kwesi Thompson entering the FNL leadership race. And Works Minister Sayers says the water and sewage contracts are being probed. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's here. It's the start of the end of the old way. Revolution. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Wednesday, October 27th, 2021. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Chester Robards will be joining us. Also this morning, we're going to be talking with Doctors Hospital about their ambulatory surgical center. And we've got another drawing of the Bahamas COVID vaccination raffle. And later in Morning Blend Business, we'll be talking with Arawak X, getting the latest on their crowdfunding initiative. So a lot to get to this morning, but first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while we're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, the indecent assault of a 25-year-old woman who was forced to share a police cell with a man over the weekend was astounding, according to Minister of National Security Wayne Monroe. He said that someone will be held accountable for the incident. Monroe told reporters outside Cabinet yesterday that if the woman was in the cell and was sleeping with a blanket, that one would think that there would be a detention record for her name. He said, quote, where she has a name that appears to be a man's name, it should have been clear that there's a female in custody. How do you get to put a male in a cell with a female? I would like to hear that explanation. As we told you, that incident took place on October 21st at the East Street South Police Station. Prosecutors say Ryan Ramond Bodie, of no fixed address, indecently assaulted the woman while they shared a cell at the station. The woman was detained on a traffic warrant, and police arrested Bodie after he allegedly threatened to kill his father. Monroe said yesterday that there is usually a detention record showing that a police officer has checked on detained individuals periodically throughout the night. He said he wants to see the detention record related to the case to see if the officers recorded time and time again that they checked on those people being detained. The National Security Minister also saying that, responding to that video that's gone viral now of a woman being choked by allegedly an off-duty officer. A formal complaint was filed after a video depicting what is believed to be a plainclothed officer choking a 19-year-old woman went viral. Commissioner of Police Paul Roll confirming this yesterday, adding that an investigation into the matter has been launched. In the video, which was reportedly recorded outside a bar on Delancey Street on Saturday, a young woman is seen being held against a silver car by a man who had his hands wrapped around her throat. The man is heard shouting at someone to give him their cell phone. Minister Monroe saying yesterday that it is not enough to post a video showing such incidents on social media. He advised those involved to come in and file a complaint to the Complaints and Corruption Branch of the police force. More than 600 public servants will get their promotion letters in the coming weeks, according to Minister of State for Public Service Pia Glover-Roll. She says 278 service-wide promotions are expected to happen shortly. 140 immigration officers and 184 prison officers also expected to get promoted soon. Roll noted that the service-wide promotions were approved in June 2016. National Vaccination Committee co-chair Ed Field says that he hopes that nearly 200,000 Bahamians will be fully vaccinated by the end of this year. He says he's encouraged that this can happen. He's not guaranteeing it, though, but he says it is a realizable objective. Works and Utilities Minister Alfred Sayers says that he has instructed his ministry to probe questionable contracts issued by the Water and Sewage Corporation to determine whether the matter needs to be turned over to the police force. He says he's asked ministry to take a look at this. While he was executive chairman of Water and Sewage Corporation, Adrian Gibson, the Long Island MP, came under fire in the lead up to the general election after it was revealed that Water and Sewage awarded a 3-year, $4,700 per month cleaning and maintenance contract to a company whose director had the same name as a woman Gibson identified as his fiancée. While Gibson issued a statement on the matter, he failed to say whether Alexandria Mackey, who signed the contract on behalf of Elite Maintenance, was the same Alexandria Mackey he identified as his fiancée in a 2020 police report. And East Grand Bahama MP Kwesi Thompson has entered the race for leader of the FNM. In a statement yesterday, Thompson saying that after prayerful consideration and consultation with his family, he will offer himself as leader of the FNM. The party will hold a special one-day convention on November 27th to elect a new leader. Thompson, the former Minister of State for Finance and for Grand Bahama during the Minutes administration, said now is the time for the party to rebuild and renew itself. Overseas, the German parliament will not extend the epidemic situation of national scope when it expires next month, but will keep in place certain measures to check the spread of the coronavirus, according to lawmakers today. Leading members of the country's parliament said that although coronavirus infections have been rising again recently, they did not see the need to prolong the epidemic situation, which was first declared in March 2020 and has been repeatedly extended since then. They said that the situation had fundamentally changed due to the fact that about 2/3 of the population had been vaccinated against the virus. The health emergency situation declaration had enabled federal and state governments to order key coronavirus measures without the approval of the national and regional parliaments. The deputy head of the center-left Social Democrats parliamentary group says there will be no more school closures, lockdowns, or curfews again. He added that the pandemic still needed to be handled responsibly, but that restrictions on civil rights needed to be eased. Despite the November 25th expiration of the epidemic situation, some measures like obligatory mask wearing in public spaces, restrictions on entry to certain venues to only those who have been vaccinated, or financial support for workers who have been hit hard by the pandemic will stay in place until March. In addition, individual states can still decide to again implement stricter measures if needed. In sports, competition got underway for the Bahamas at the International Boxing Association Men's World Boxing Championships on Monday. The first Bahamian boxer to step into the ring was Rashid Williams in the welterweight division. He fell, though, to Georgian boxer Lasha Guruli in Belgrade. Williams fought out of the blue corner and lost 5-0 in a unanimous decision after the 3 rounds of action. You can read more about how the team's doing so far in today's Guardian Sports section. And from Major League Baseball, Game 1 of the World Series last night, the Atlanta Braves coming out swinging. They took the win over the Houston Astros 6-2 in Game 1 last night. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. For today, a weak frontal trough will produce some shower activity while weakening across the area and shifting eastwards, as a dry air mass keeps mostly pleasant and very warm conditions in place across the majority of the islands through tonight. For all areas today, forecast calls for mostly sunny, hot, and humid conditions with isolated showers and the slight chance of isolated thunderstorms near the trough, becoming fair and warm with a stray shower or two possible tonight. Winds west to northwest at 10 to 15 knots in the northwest Bahamas, shifting southwest to west at 10 to 15 knots in the central and southeastern islands, falling light and variable by tonight. Seas 2 to 4 feet. Temperature-wise, we're looking at highs getting up to around 90 Fahrenheit, 32 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to 75 Fahrenheit, 24 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have your extended outlook and a look at the tropics coming up after traffic in just a bit.
Wake up. Wake up. It's a new day.
You are listening to Morning Blend. When we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on your home for fresh news and smart talk all day. Guardian Radio 96.9.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
People helping people to help themselves.
All right, watch this. The Credit Union of the Bahamas, drop cotton on them. This the plug.
People helping people to help themselves.
Don't believe me? Join the Credit Union and watch your money grow like Chef and Needle.
Credit unions are smarter choice. Higher rates on your savings.
Yeah, go join one.
Credit unions are smarter choice. More money you make.
More what? Stop that.
Credit unions are smarter choice. Higher rates on your savings.
Let me get my money now.
Credit unions are smarter choice. More money you make.
Join
the credit union. Watch your savings grow with higher interest rates. Become a member and purchase some shares. Then ownership is coming your way. They offer local banking members no owner, personalized service. Come and join the credit union and your choice will be the smartest. I can credit unions are the smarter choice. Higher rates on your savings.
For 38 years, Strachan Commercial Pest Services has provided trained, certified tech using environmentally safe, industry-standard products. Pests can devastate your business. Together, we will ensure adequate sanitation standards and safe pest exclusion methods. Uncontrolled pest problems lead to significant financial loss due to food contamination, business disruption, and stock waste. Strachan provides detailed solutions protecting your business and reputation. Strachan, #1 in pest control services.
Your child needs nutrients every day, and Enfagrow has DHA and iron, which supports your child's mental development. Enfagrow has components which cow's milk does not contain. Support your toddler's growth and complement their diet with Enfagrow. Let's fuel the wonder. This product is not intended to be a substitute for breast milk. Milk does not contain DHA, but contains calcium and other nutrients.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new
Welcome back. Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio on 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Joining me now, Chester Robards. Good morning, Chester Robards.
Good morning.
Oh, yes, that's you. I was wondering if you remembered. Hope you're doing well.
Good.
Is this? Yes, it is the final Wednesday of October 2021. Wow. Only 2 months left, folks, of a year that we all thought would be way better than the last one. Is it better? Was it better?
Yeah, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah. This is challenging, though. Anyway, there'll be time to reflect later in a couple months. But hey, so if whatever you had to do, you still have 2 months to get it together. 2 months to do it. So let's get it going, right? Yeah. So let's look at it that way. We can turn it all around in the final couple months here. All right. So anyway, great to have you with us as always. Folks, you can join the conversation. We are on Twitter at MorningBlend969 or Facebook, facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 422-4796. Remember, standard text rates apply. And we'll give you the phone numbers to call in just a bit. Morning, more weather and traffic. And we'll be talking about what's in the news throughout the morning. Later in our 8 o'clock hour, we're going to be talking to Doctors Hospital about their ambulatory surgical center. We get details about what that's all about. And, of course, we have another drawing of the Bahamas COVID vaccination raffle. Two winners will win 2 great prizes today. That's coming up. And later, Arawak X will be with us in Morning Blend Business to give us the latest on how things are going with their crowdfunding initiative. Okay, so a lot to get to. Let's begin, though, with what's in the news. And in the news, the big headline in the National Guardian, Monroe wants answers. The National Security Minister wants to know how a woman ended up in the same cell as a man, as we talked about in depth yesterday. And he's also saying that folks have to come forward and make complaints if you are witnessing or experiencing what apparently happened over the weekend with an off-duty officer, or plainclothes, I don't know if he's off-duty, but a plainclothes officer with his hands wrapped around the neck of a teenager and, come forward and make complaints. We're going to get to that in just a bit. So I know people have a lot to say. We'll get to that in just a few minutes. The other big story yesterday, though, is this F&M leadership race. What's happening here? And it seems like almost everybody who's an MP in Grand Bahama is going to be running to lead the party. Kwesi Thompson has entered the race. You might have heard the East Grand Bahama MP issuing a statement yesterday about this. And he said, quote, "After prayerful consideration and consultation with my family, I will offer myself as a candidate for leader for the Free National Movement." Thompson says it's time for the party to rebuild and renew itself. He said, quote, "We have had many successes in government. Our 50th anniversary. There is much to celebrate about our legacy, but at times we have fallen short. At times we could have paid more attention to public sentiment. Our mission is to return to government to build on our accomplishments. We must do so with greater humility, compassion, and openness." Thompson will likely face off against Central Grand Bahama MP Iram Lewis, who so far is the only one who's officially declared his interest in seeking the leadership. There are rumors, though, that others may do so as well, including Marco City MP Michael Pintard. Insiders say he is considering running for leader, but so far he's remained mum on the matter. All right, so let's talk about this. What do you make of that? This new direction that Thompson says the party needs to go and needs to rebuild itself, renew itself. Hasn't been paying attention to public sentiment. Oh, that's very interesting. I mean, we had members of the F&M very openly saying this just a few years ago while they were still with that issue. But for some reason, when you're too close to a situation, I guess you can't see and you can't believe the people who are telling you the things to your face. Is that how it works? Until you get out of the situation, then you can't see. I guess that's how it is. Although, I mean, again, it was nonstop to the point where they're telling people inside their circles, telling them these things to get out. They openly encouraged them to leave. But anyway, at least we can learn. Or do we just say things? What do you make of it, Jester? Is he there? Oh, okay.
What I thought was interesting and something I said to some friends yesterday was, there's so many people who throw in their hat in the ring. When there's a party with no clear indication that there's somebody competent enough, likable enough within the party and without the party to lead the party, everybody starts to come forward. And I think we said this early on, like after Dr. Minnis, who have we seen, step forward as someone who could clearly lead the FNF?
I think there are a few names, but those people aren't the ones who are showing any interest at the moment.
But they're also kind of like scarred by things that have happened.
Yes.
In the party and stuff. So.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Right. And there will be why should we? Right. Why should we do this? I'm hearing a lot of people saying this. Right. I've heard quite a lot of commentary that this is a problem. So many people coming forward. Everybody wants to be a leader. That's a bad sign. I don't know. I might say that is a bad sign for them too. But I remember what happened in the U.S. With the Democrats. My goodness, remember they had so many people. Right. They had so many people. They had to have multiple debates because they couldn't fit everybody on the stage. And they had more Democrats than people can name. And
at the end of the day, Father Time had to come out in front.
Okay. And one of the people who ran against him is his deputy, is his vice president now, right? So, I mean, these things are often good for the party and for democracy. Often.
Yeah. And you're right. Yeah, but it might end up being a cycle, right? Where I don't know, somebody who we don't like as much ends up winning the nomination, but like you said, the deputy comes behind and shows themselves.
Uh-oh.
And so we got to wait a couple of years.
That sounds very familiar. That's happened here several times.
Exactly.
And but that hasn't always ended well for any of them, the leader or the deputy. But hey, so what do you make of it, folks? Is it do you hope more people enter? Do you hope you hear even more names? I know some people are concerned that could cause split the votes in some ways. It will cause a more unpopular or a less popular person to win the leadership. But again, that word popularity is tricky as well.
Yeah, it's true. And the question moving forward is going to be, what does the F&M learn? Because I mean, who's going to make the decision? Certainly not Joe Blow.
Right.
We don't go to conventions and vote and that kind of.
Yep.
Who we have to trust the F&M learned something from this last time in office about who they want to see as the spokesperson for their party.
Yes.
We're all hoping that they learn something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know. I'm not convinced as yet. It's early. It's still early, but we will see. All right, let's hear from you folks. What do you make of this? How this race is shaping up? Only a month to go before that one-day convention for the FNM. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Are you happy with the names you're hearing so far? Are there some people you wish come forward? Are you of the view that you have to be, the leader will have to be in the House in order to be an effective leader? Do you believe that has to happen? Let's get your views on that. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on Morning Blend.
Good morning, Dwight, and good morning, Chester.
Hi, good morning.
Yeah, Dwight, I'm still advocating for Michael Pentard show us very shortly. When it comes to the guy named Hiram Lewis and Crazy Thompson, right? My view when it comes to Crazy, first of all, he's just trying to make himself relevant in the party, because I don't see him stand a chance of winning that leadership, right? And Hiram Lewis is also a good guy too. I don't see what type of leadership or what capacity they could lead this free national movement, right? That's it's only my view, right? But I think I still believe when it comes to having a more well-rounded individual that is left in the parliament that we have to choose from, right? Is Michael Pentard, right? Because I have nothing personally against none of these guys, but I still believe when it comes to choosing a leader, at this time, Michael Pentard and the young gentleman from St. Barnabas, what's his name, Cartwright. Yeah, I really believe it's time for these guys to emerge as claim they show themselves to really be leaders. And, they really did. And so, their performance over the minister administration, as bad as that administration was, these guys, they shine and bad. So if you could get guys like Pentard and Cartwright would actually had a glare on them in a bad time, right? I believe they are the ones to take over this party coming forward.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Yeah. Well, have the names that you mentioned before, had they been given an opportunity to show any leadership, really, right? I don't know. I don't know if they have. They might surprise you. But we talked about it on the show a lot more about these people. If we knew more about them, which we don't. Often we don't. We don't know who they are. They just show up a month before the election and this is your candidate. And like, what do you stand for? Right? If you don't take part in debates, we have no idea what your skill set is. If you were in this field and that's all people know you for, how are we to know what your views are in politics and in social affairs? I mean, what's supposed to be the what are we supposed to judge you on? And we talked about it on Friday's show about if more of our politicians would perhaps write books or speak more, speaking engagements, be a part of something. But often we don't. People will say, "Oh, he's a good guy," but what are their views on things? No clue. Yeah. So when they come out and say, "Oh, I want to be the leader," like people will say, "What?" Yeah, that's why, because we didn't know. But it's worked for others before. I don't know if they're going to change, unfortunately. But we have to demand it. We have to demand it. Again, there are exceptions. There's some people who have definitely done it, but others, not a thing.
Yeah. I kind of like the big pool of candidates. It reminds me of Street Fighter or one of those video games. They have them lined up on the screen and you can choose whoever you want to be, and if they suck, then you just choose someone else the next time.
Is Street Fighter or is that Mortal Kombat with the finish him?
That's Mortal Kombat.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well. It is the time when they get finished.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I'll continue to call.
They should add that to Mortal Kombat. An election finish.
Oh, man. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us. Quite a few text messages coming in. Let's get to these. Dwight, here is the money question. Who does Hubert Ingram support as new leader? You all are very funny. But who knows? Maybe. And that might be part of the problem with the FNM.
Well, right? Can we trust him?
Well, why not? But still. Right? Well, why? Why is that the case?
The people will say he left us with.
Oh, well, again,
the other guy.
A similar situation, right? What we have, this is what we had in the house. But if this is still what's going on.
Now, hey, to be fair, around that time when everybody thought he was the best member of parliament ever for his constituency.
Oh, well, yeah, people were saying that quite a lot. Yeah. That's right.
So
that is very true. Yeah. That is very true. All right, this person says, we are very disappointed in you. All media is doing is talking politics and no holding brave them to solving the country's problems, from bad roads to stray dogs to lack of jobs plus garbage everywhere, high prices and no clear development direction of the country, etc. But you guys rather play minutes talking nonsense with music in the background. Another wasted 5 years. You're a very salty, sad F&M person.
I'm sure, and you just did our job for us, right? Yeah. Lay out that list and wait for the people to do something because they only been here for what, 6 weeks?
Has it been that many?
They ain't even reached the house yet until today.
Yeah, today's the first day.
For heaven's sake,
you are a very sad person. I just want you to know that. But yeah, okay. Anyway, disappointed in you too. Okay, here's a text. One of our problems in this country is this. You can't get a doctor to testify against another doctor. A lawyer won't testify against another lawyer, and police won't testify against other police. I don't know if that's true at all. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's rough, though. You may not think it's true, but it's rough.
Well, it's a small place.
Yeah.
But I think if anyway. Okay, so everyone's talking about the police there. We'll get to that in a second. While we should also have a chairman election, one was needed from that time. This is the worst one that we've had in the party's history. Well, it doesn't sound like that's going to be the case. They're saving that for the big convention next year. February it's supposed to be. Another one. What is the criteria for leading a party and by extension the country? It can't be because they're all liked. That needs to be defined. Well, hey, I keep saying it. I don't know why you all think we have to be held down to this current system that we have in this country. Right? If you'd prefer where we directly vote for our leader, we need to really be working on a path to get there, where you directly vote for whatever you want to call that person. Right? Right now we are on a train. You're catching the ride on the train, don't know where it's going. Whoever, as you mentioned it, Chester, whoever the parties select as the leader, you vote for somebody in your constituency, and that's what it seems like we're doing. We try to vote for the person who is in the same party as that person that you think might be a better leader, with no consideration, most of us, for the abilities of that person you're voting for in your constituency. And you just indirectly vote for the leader of the party to become the prime minister. This is a very, very odd system. And yeah, I don't care if it's worked for hundreds of years in other parts of the world. Can you truly say that this is doing us well in this country, especially in the last 25 years? Can you say that? Doing it. And all we're going to keep doing as a result of this is having these 5-year governments. And if you're happy with that, then fine. But the stop-start of everything, and the cancellation and the limbo, and we're not getting anywhere. We are spinning in circles.
Can't be cute too much longer.
When was it cute?
Some people think cute.
Oh, okay. Anyway, okay. This text here, another question. Who does the UBP portion of the FNM supporters lead? Why are you all being like this today? Why are you all being like this? I want to know how come everyone seems to always speak with their family and God and miraculously reach a conclusion to run. I would like for my family and God to give me the lotto numbers, but it never happens.
Another salt, very led person.
Okay. Anyway, I think you're trying to be funny. But yeah, you better talk to your family if you want to run. It's a lot of pressure on people. A lot of lights, a lot of spotlights that many are not interested in. Yes. Talk to everybody who's influential in your life. Whenever anyone shows leadership skills in a political party, they get blacklisted. Yeah? Is that right?
Sometimes it feels that way. Sometimes it feels like the people in the party, like, who do you think he is?
Yeah.
When you come out too strong,
We've been hearing that. You hear that all the time. It's very cutthroat.
Go sit down, little boy.
Yeah. Well, as they like to say, they think it's cute. Small alter your name's called. Let's take this call. Good morning, call. You're on the air.
Hey, Dwight. Good morning, Chester.
Hi, good morning.
What I want to say as it relates to the FNM leadership persons who vying for that position, right? What I feel should happen in saving time, I feel like what they should do, right? They should look among themselves for the most popular person and the one who the people more likely to, to choose, or who's more likely to be a better leader, instead of everybody just popping up their head, I won't be leader. I just feel like they should, just look for the most popular one and let that person be the chosen person. And I just want to say, before I hang up that, I think the Minister of Wayne Monroe, I think he's doing an excellent job. I finally believe that we have a Minister of National Security who's going to really stand in the gap for a lot of persons and the way they've been mistreated and so forth. Because being the person that he was in his legal field, I think he make an excellent national security. I just want to, congratulate him in that position and hope he do well.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right. No, interesting. Popular. That word's coming up again. Popular person.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Might be a mistake.
Popular. As we said, it would be great to know the vision, to know.
The Kardashians are popular.
That would be quite something if one of them were the. Anyway, but yeah, let's make another appeal. Somehow, maybe you don't want to write a book. Maybe you don't have to go down that route. But somehow, maybe you have a series of blogs, videos, something about.
Are you
your
suggesting
vision.
something?
Yeah.
Something you're-
I don't know who's. What do you mean? A name? I don't know anybody who's doing it. But
I don't know anybody who's maybe written stuff.
who's who's written things about
Yeah. Okay.
not just a writer, if that's what you're implying,
all right,
right?
all
But I mean somebody who has outlined their vision for the way forward already.
Yeah, fine.
Their vision for the Bahamas, their vision for reform in politics,
Is
whatever.
that kind of what Kwesi was doing in his?
What now? You mean? No, not a letter about how we need it. What should happen? Outlining it, how you think it should, what the forms it should take.
Mm.
Right? I mean, everybody could write down we need change. That's we see it, we say. But
I think part of the problem with that is you're gonna step on some toes, and you're gonna step on the person that you're looking for. The things that you want them to say are going to mash lots of corn.
Oh,
and
well.
that ain't what. But see, that ain't what you come to the party with. You gotta come to the party groveling.
got a mashed corn to make tortilla. We don't like that. No, everybody likes that.
We don't eat tortilla. Mashed corn to eat grits.
If you want, yeah, okay, there you go. But you have to show that you've changed, right? That you recognize that what you were doing.
But how much
has
is the
not
party willing to accept that kind of stuff?
I think that's what I'm saying. I think it's just talk. That's what you do after you lose. Like, how quickly? You already got it? Really? In a month?
Yeah.
We should. Yeah. You were being told that within a year that you should have listened. You were being told that repeatedly by someone that you ostracized and pushed even further back than the backbench that they were on. And you were encouraging him to leave and heckled and jeckled and tried to get him. People walked out when he was speaking, you remember? Every time he spoke in the House. I'm talking about McAlpine, if you don't know. And he was telling them that they're losing touch. They're losing their way. And many others were saying the same thing. But you get it now. At least the PLP had a consultant. Well, that's what I'm saying. I can't imagine. The PLP had got a consultant. They got a consultant to tell them what everybody had been telling them. And it took them a little time to digest the report. So that was a better performance of pretending like you get it. But this one, immediately, oh yeah, we get it because of the that you got. Now you get it. Sure. Okay.
Yeah. Who was it saying, oh, we got to find out why there was so much voter apathy? I don't know if you really need to dig that deep.
Oh, man. All right. Continue to call. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. And tweet, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. This one says here, the Bahamas needs a system of real local government. It will allow people to develop leadership skills and learn to solve problems at the local level. That is the reason the Roosevelt cousins became such great presidents in the United States. Is that the reason? Okay. I'm not sure if that's the reason, but okay. But sure. We absolutely agree with that. And we've been saying that for true local government, decentralized government, and almost semi-autonomy for some of the larger islands, the ones that have been proving that they have the economies that can sustain this, like Abaco, especially before Dorian, like Exuma is emerging, Grand Bahama, possibly Luthra. Absolutely. And New Providence. And I don't know why so many Nasuvians don't get this. And I don't know why more Family Islanders aren't more vocal about it, that this is desperately needed. And I do think, at first I had issues with it, but I do believe that ideas that have been pushed around about moving the capital will help to ensure that Bahamians, Nasuvians especially, get it. That we do need local government. And if this capital weren't here, I think you'd see it a lot clearer. And that's how they can get their new parliament building. That's what they want, right? So, yeah, go build something purpose-built over there and let the people of New Providence be free. Be free of you all. Okay, so you can continue to call us and text us about that. Let's move on now to the other big story. As we said earlier, the National Security Minister wanting answers about what's been going on with the police force. This situation that we talked about yesterday with the woman who was in the cell. A man was brought into the cell and he indecently assaulted her. And just why would you put a man who had been brought in on threatening his father, threatening to kill his father, put him in the same cell with someone who was on a traffic violation, and especially a woman, and along with a viral video of a plainclothes officer choking a young woman. What's been going on here? What is the issue? And this comes on the heels of the court matter with the man who had his teeth knocked out by an off-duty officer. This is 3 very questionable cases, and of course, it appears that officer in that matter only got 8 days pay or 7 days pay docked. That was his punishment. What's going on? Monroe speaking to reporters yesterday saying, quote, a female was in a cell from what we gather and was sleeping with a blanket. One would think that there is a detention record for her in her name, where she has a name that appears to be a man's name. It should have been clear that there is a female in custody. How do you get to put a male in a cell with a female? I would like to hear that explanation. And he says this is all astounding and that someone needs to be held accountable for this incident. Again, this took place on October 21st at the East Street South Police Station. Prosecutors say that Ryan Ramond Bodie indecently assaulted the woman while they shared a cell at the station. The woman was detained on a traffic warrant, and police arrested Bodie after he allegedly threatened to kill his father. Monroe said yesterday there is usually a detention record showing that a police officer has checked on detained individuals periodically throughout the night. He said he wants to see the detention record related to the case to see if the officer recorded time and time again that he checked on those 2 prisoners, and they had no complaints. If that has occurred, then that would be another problem that the officer has to explain. The system will hold whoever is responsible to account, and these things must be explained. Firstly, it is astounding that it could happen, and second, officer, he's not honest in what he writes on the detention record. That is even more problematic, and so none of us have any issues, any interest in defending or protecting slack people. Meanwhile, Bodie, who pleaded guilty to the indecent assault charge, has been remanded to the Department of Correctional Services for a psychiatric assessment, and he's scheduled to make his next court appearance on December 14th. Wow. And again, there was, you were saying?
First of all, when have we heard that kind of language from a national security minister?
Never?
It's a bit refreshing, I would say.
Yeah, you wonder how long.
We gotta wait for the follow through and watch for the follow.
I do think it's wonderful. It's refreshing. But let's see how long before the armed services start revolting.
Let him revolt.
Yeah, Gates. He's there for the people. He's there for the people. Right.
Look, these things, people don't magically complain about things that don't happen to them. People don't show up with bruises, missing teeth, end up in court, win a court case because the police force don't have bad apples and problems. It does. It needs to be dealt with.
Absolutely.
And if the people at the top in the police force ain't dealing with it, well, maybe we have somebody in government finally who might help the citizens of the Bahamas not feel afraid of their police.
As it should be.
And worry about their police.
Yeah, we need someone looking out for us for once. For Wayne Monroe about this video that went viral over the weekend. For more on this, take a listen to this report from our Kyle Joaquin.
Someone will be held accountable after a woman in custody at South Beach Police Station was held in a cell with a man, resulting in her being indecently assaulted. A 32-year-old vagrant has admitted to the indecent assault of the 25-year-old woman, who was detained on a traffic warrant. Well, National Security Minister Wayne Monroe says there are many questions that the officers at the station will have to answer.
I'd like to see the detention record to see if this officer has recorded time and time again that he checked on these two prisoners and they had no complaints. If that has occurred, then that would be another problem that the officer has to explain. The system will hold whoever is responsible to account, and these things must be explained.
Well, the National Security Minister is also asserting that there is nothing that calls they have committed an offense. His comment follows a disturbing video which appears to show a plainclothes police officer choking a young woman. It prompted the minister and the commissioner of police to urge the individuals in the video to file a complaint.
There is nothing that calls for violence against a person, even if they have committed an offense.
In the video, you can see the plainclothes officer holding a young woman by her neck and pressing her against a car before spotting a person recording, then ordering the cell phone to be taken away. Our News understands the young woman at the center of the ordeal had hired an attorney and reportedly planned to meet with the commissioner of police this afternoon. It came after the video went viral and a call from both the commissioner of police and National Security Minister for there to be an official complaint made.
You have to have a complaint. Something can be on video, you have to have a complaint. You have to first validate the video, you have to make sure it's not photoshopped. Somebody has to come in and make a complaint. They're entitled to due process. Police officers are entitled to due process.
The video has since made the rounds on social media, with members of the public calling for the officer to be held accountable. The incident reportedly occurred late Saturday night. The question of excessive force has been a topic for conversation following a Supreme Court ruling where the police force was ordered to pay a man $82,000 for an officer wrongfully punching a man in his mouth twice, resulting in the loss of 9 teeth. That officer remains on the job.
The police could see you committing an offense. If you put up no resistance, there's no justification for violence. And so if you are in fact brought before the court, that is your time to complain.
With the topic of police brutality in news once again, Monroe says there needs to be changes, including making the punishment of these officers when they are found to be in the wrong public.
I would imagine it should be Justice Committee and Disciplinary Tribunal. They may be private when there are allegations, when there's a conclusion. The conclusion, in my judgment, ought to be made public.
In the meantime, Monroe says he knows there are many other stories of interactions with officers, perhaps some recorded, that should be brought to the attention of the complaint section.
Once you have the material to show that there has been misfeasance, malfeasance by the police officers in any regard, you should make a complaint to Complaints and Corruption. And if it rises to the level of criminality, you should make a criminal complaint. If nothing happens, then that's an appropriate case to involve somebody at my level.
Our Kyle Joaquin in that report there. Well, yeah, definitely, Chester, that is some very interesting, refreshing talk there from a national security minister. Yeah. Hey, let's get your reaction to what he's saying there. It's powerful stuff. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us 422-4796. And we keep hearing situations like this. Plainclothes officers carrying on like this, and nobody knows who they are. Like, are you really a police officer? Why are you? And then they get offended and act even more aggressive when you start questioning them. Like, what do you expect supposed to happen here? Why are we supposed to believe or listen to you? And it just makes everything worse. And brings up questions about these body cams again, dash cams. Where are they? Have we ever seen any footage from any of them ever? What's going on there? Have they not been implemented as yet? Where do things stand with it? Why would that officer be requesting the person's cell phone? What is the issue here? And is it all about training?
No, it's not about training.
No,
they're protected by the fraternity. Protected from the top all the way down, and when that happens, who's going to hold them accountable? Except the person with the cell phone.
Yeah. Wow. This is crazy. All right, folks, let's hear what you have to say. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Hi, good morning.
Hi.
I want to remind the public about the young lady that got over and excessively abused by the police in Exuma a few years ago. And because I think of his status and his connections on the phone, the lawyer that was handling the case gave all kind of lousy opinion to it. They're doing this with it. And because of COVID, and yet Inspector Leary is now back on his job. And he had practically almost took that young girl's eye out. And, she's still trying to, because of finances, she can't find a lawyer to handle the case. And like I said, if Mr. Jean Ferguson can assist her with that, I'm sure she'd be very grateful. I can leave my number if someone has attorney for Jean Ferguson, because I think it's so unfair, but he definitely is extreme excessive force. But that officer is still on the job, getting a salary. And the complaints and paperwork the same, like as soon as they were released from Exuma. And they were mistreated in Exuma and the station as well.
Yeah, that's terrible. All right, okay, we'll put you on hold. I get our producer to get your number. We'll try to get a message to Bjorn. Okay, thank you very much. Yep, there are a lot of these outstanding matters.
But what are these guys even? How do they feel?
The good apples. That's what you mean?
I wish I knew how the good apples feel.
Yeah, why don't they talk?
But how do the bad apples feel? I mean, these we're still talking about these situations, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And you don't have the moral capacity to even care.
Well, that's why they're bad apples. They're laughing. They're laughing at us.
How bad can a human being be? Just don't. I know how bad they can be, but for heaven's sake. Mm-hmm. You have a position in society where people should hold you in a certain regard, and we here on the radio still talking about you, man. Step down, go do something else. You know what I'm saying?
No,
but they don't.
They can come looking for us. You had so much to say about us on the radio. Yeah,
exactly.
What you can do now, and that's how bad apples work. That's how bad apples work. But like you say, the good ones need to weed them out, deworm them. I don't know.
Man, these guys go sit up in church and anyway.
Yeah, and we know they're good ones. But
absolutely.
But like that texter says, are they not talking? No one's snitching, right? The doctors won't talk against the doctors. The lawyers won't talk against the lawyers, and the bad cops. No, the good cops will sit there and just shake their heads.
But they don't have to. Snitching is one thing, but stating a position, that the position that the police force, and yes, we hear it time and time again from the top of the force, and I guess those guys can't talk out of turn, but stating we are, and this is not who we're about. Any officer could say that to anybody, right?
You are right. Yeah. This text here, the officer that locked that female up with the male in the cell should be held accountable, but in my opinion, Wayne Monroe is acting more like a defense attorney than a minister of national security.
Fine. Let it be.
Davis elected him for that post because he was once a defense attorney for criminals. Well, how should he be acting? He seems to be, at the moment, the few things we've heard so far from him, looking out for, with a couple of exceptions with the conflict of interest matters, but looking out for the interests of the public, and many of whom would be in his constituency and voted for him, right? But looking out for the public's best interest, and not just what's in the best interest of the forces that come under his purview, right? But for those people in the forces work for us and are supposed to be trying to make things better for us. But if they're only there to frustrate us, what's that all about?
Our last two national security ministers, I think, stop me if I'm wrong, came from the police force.
Well,
James, and then wasn't Keith Bell before him?
He was a state minister. Dr. Nottage.
Oh, yes,
yeah.
Dr.
So,
Nottage,
but yes, so you're right to, yeah, maybe they were a little too close. Maybe they're a little too close to the situation.
Possibly.
We got another call. Is that another call? 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Okay, got that number. That's something else, eh? Oh, boy. Yeah, all right. More of your messages here. Yeah, we read that already. All right. The Police Act is violent because citizens are not allowed to defend themselves. They're basically cowards for behaving this way. What do you mean they're not allowed to defend themselves? What does that mean?
Who isn't?
The public.
If you'd like to make a call,
the citizens are not allowed to defend themselves.
Not allowed to defend themselves.
I mean, I don't know what you mean. They're not allowed to hit back? Is that what you're saying? Is that what you mean? Okay. This one says here, there are no good apples in the police force. No, that's crazy. That's crazy. We know many. We know many. We know many. Anyway, they say they either commit these crimes or they stay silent while the crimes are being committed. They should hold themselves to the same standard they hold civilians.
Their suggestion is if they don't speak out, then they're still a bad apple.
Well, that means so are there no good Apple citizens? Because a lot of people who know of some terrible things happening and just sit back and say, oh, well, one day they'll see the error of their ways. I'm going to pray for them and throw their hands up in the air. So what does that mean? We're all bad apples. Yeah?
No, that's why we got the anonymous helpline.
Crime Stoppers?
Crime Stoppers.
Mm-hmm.
So you could be a good Apple citizen, like you said. Sounds like a dessert.
Even the police could call Crime Stoppers.
Maybe, hey, that's true.
Yeah. This one says here, yes, it's refreshing until a police officer connected to a PLP politician gets in trouble. No, yeah, I don't know what you're saying. I don't understand. Anyway.
Okay. All right. We understand that things like that do happen from time to time.
I'm not, there's a text. I'm not a PLP, but Wayne Monroe seems to be on his way. Why do you have to say that? Why do you have to say that part? Right? I mean, that's not necessary. Only PLP is going to be saying good things, and the FNMs are going to be the best. Is that how we work now? Or we've always been? I'm not a PLP, but Wayne Monroe seems to be on his way to being one of the best ministers of national security we've ever had. It's a little early, but we've had some challenged ones, though. I can't remember the last time.
The problem is when the system takes hold of these good people and they start to change, because we know how our system works.
Yeah.
Sometimes they get silent. They don't say the things they used to say, how they used to say them.
After they've been called into a meeting, eh?
Exactly.
So you need to
look, it's too much
calm
pressure.
down.
Calm down. You know, don't be talking like that to the media.
You know who his mother is? She's been coming up. You need to stop. Like, okay. If McAlpine was doing such a good job, why wasn't he reelected? Sounds more like a defense attorney than a minister of national security. Oh, you threw the two in there. Okay, 2 for 1 text.
What's wrong with sounding like a defense attorney?
Yeah.
I'm glad he understands the system and the way it works and the way it should work. So
I just want to say,
I didn't know that a police officer should sign something, and one would think that they should check on the cells, right? When I was locked up, I didn't remember seeing anybody. I got to bring it up because nothing ever came of it. They just threw me in, and I talk about it all the time because I'm still salty about it.
This is your time. This is your time. Go see the minister. I want to respond to the first part of that text, though. If Matt Klein is doing such a good job, now you know fully well that tons of people who are doing good jobs have lost their seats in this wacky system we have, right? You can't vote for that guy, or we can't vote for you because you're with that party that we don't like anymore, and we don't want that guy to be the prime minister. So even though you are the best MP we've ever had, they've got tons of them who can tell you that they were in that situation. I was a good MP, and they voted me out because they didn't like my leader anymore, and they didn't want him or her to be the prime minister. So good job means nothing in a system like this.
Yep.
Nothing at all. This one, I had police pull guns on me in front of Government House at 3:15 p.m. because they said I was driving too slow. Driving a Honda was not said, but implied. I am a woman, so had to sell the car. I was too shaken up with that experience. Oh, man, that is awful.
Well, I guess they didn't even stop and check who was in the driver's seat.
Yeah, they might have been.
Come out with guns right away? Is that policy? See? Is that what the training says to do? What you say, 3 o'clock? As early in the morning? Oh, 3 p.m. 3 p.m. The car heavily tinted? I don't know. That doesn't even matter. What does the policy of the police force say about pulling over Hondas?
Well, hey, I've said it before in the show. I think almost every young man under 30 has had, right? Am I wrong about this? Has had a gun pulled on them in the bombs by the police.
You think so?
Yeah.
I mean, I had my day too.
I had it too. Everybody.
But they thought
I'm too old for them to look at. But
they thought that I'd robbed. My car looked like a car that was involved in a robbery.
Oh, they had no reason for this. Yeah, but
when you go to the States,
it never happened over there, but happens here. I think I've had it at least 3 times.
What?
Yeah, man.
3 times? Guns?
That just seems to be the normal thing. There was a time, it was 1-something in the morning, and nobody was around. Went through the light. This is before I knew that is not allowed legally. Right. And then that you just went through that light. I said, yeah, it's after midnight. And they find me the law where it says that you can do that. But no one's around. That's not the law. But there were 2 officers standing around with their guns pointed at me. Anyway, I thought that was okay. Monday morning sign at the traffic department, but then nothing ever came of it. But guns were drawn. Like, okay, wow.
Sound like any traffic violation.
Everything.
Pull the gun out.
Mm-hmm. Your light is blinking. You left your blinkers on. Step out of the vehicle. Oh, wow. And then another time when I think they did pull the gun, didn't they? I know I've told this story in the show before. I was in a white Maxima. That was the time when the Maximas were troublesome. And a white Camry. I was like feet from my home. A white Camry was just cut me off and went flying down the road. I'm like, what was that? Mm-hmm. And at that time, the Camry and the Maxima looked similar. But it was a Camry. I saw them. And then a few seconds later, the police come and pull me over. And they say, oh, you were in a big rush just now. I said, me? Or the person in the white Camry that went that way? And they looked at each other. Okay, sorry. I'm like, guns retracted. Like, huh. Anyway. The joys. I think it would have been like 26. It stopped at 30. I think it is a common thing, and it's a scary thing that so many people, and apparently women too, as you heard from this lady, many young people encounter the police like this.
So in that case, I think it's training, right? So if from the top down, you tell your boys in the police force, when you pull a car over, don't pull the gun out. Not right away, at least, you know. Assess the situation first. Yeah? You think that's in the manual, or you think?
I don't know. I don't know. I have to do this, but it's scary. It's very scary. Wow. Bring back the memories. Bring back the memories. Let's take a break. We'll come back with more of what's making news on this Wednesday morning. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
Wake up.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Technology serves to make our lives better, so why not your business too? At Custom Computers, we've been maintaining our knowledge and relationships with top 1987 and carry only the most trusted brands like Apple, Microsoft, HP, and more. No company has helped more businesses build reliable IT systems than Custom Computers. You name it, we've done it. Call 396-1101 to talk to any of our business experts. Find trust in your tech. Count on Custom Computers.
We are working to protect our country, our people, and our livelihoods so that we can move forward. The vaccine is safe. The vaccine is easy. The vaccine is essential for our recovery. If we want to rebuild our economy, if we want to get back to our jobs, if we want to get back to our lives, our families, we must do this together.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
7:41 the time. 7:42 now. Time for your first look at traffic for this morning, brought to you by RBC Royal Bank. In your real-time traffic, we're seeing some heavy traffic already at this hour. Mile Butler Highway, as usual, your hotspot this morning in the northbound lanes. Just north of Fire Trail in the roundabout there, you'll be seeing that traffic in the northbound lanes to Tawny Williams Darling Highway. Gladstone Road, similar story. Heavy traffic midway between Fire Trail and John F. Kennedy Drive in the northbound lane. Blue Hill Road also busy so far this morning, just north of Soldier Road. You'll see that heavy traffic in the northbound lanes to Independence Drive. Independence Drive backed up as well, westbound to that roundabout with Blue Hill Road. Further south on Blue Hill Road near Carmichael, you'll be seeing the heavy traffic there too. And eastbound on Carmichael to Blue Hill at that junction there, looking busy for you. East Street is also seeing the roundabout with Independence Drive and East West Highway, the northbound lanes between Soldier and that roundabout, looking busy for you this morning. Then we've got the intersections along Prince Charles and Robinson Road, so Robinson and East Street, Robinson and Marathon and East West Highway, Robinson and Old Trail, and Robinson Soldier, Prince Charles and Beatrice Avenue, Prince Charles and Foxhill, where you'll be seeing heavy traffic there. Foxhill Road also northbound to Prince Charles Drive. Those are your hot spots for now. That's your real-time traffic and your Morning Blend traffic alert, brought to you by RBC Royal Bank, banking reimagined. And time for another check of your weather for today. We've got a weak frontal trough that will produce some shower activity while weakening across the area and shifting eastwards, as a dry air mass will keep mostly pleasant and very warm weather conditions in place across the majority of the islands through tonight. For all areas today, look for partly sunny, hot, and humid conditions with isolated showers and a slight chance of isolated thunderstorms near the trough today, becoming fair and warm with a stray shower or two possible tonight. Temperatures getting up into the 90s again for the first time in a few days. 90 Fahrenheit, 32 Celsius. Overnight lows getting down to 75 Fahrenheit, 24 Celsius. Big changes are coming, though. The trough will spark limited shower activity as it gradually weakens and dissipates across the central Bahamas by Thursday. Meanwhile, a cold front with its associated prefrontal activity will impact the northwest and central Bahamas as it enters the area by early Friday morning. So for Thursday, look for mostly sunny, hot, and humid conditions with widely scattered showers near the trough. Breezy with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms in the northwest and central Bahamas. Partly sunny and hot with isolated showers in the southeast Bahamas. Expecting that cold front to be pretty strong when it comes through, and it should cool things down quite a bit by the weekend for Halloween and for the start of November next week. In the tropics, we've got a deepening non-tropical low-pressure system located a few hundred miles east to southeast of Cape Cod, Massachusetts. It has medium or 40% chance of tropical cyclone formation through the next 5 days. That's a nor'easter that's bringing some serious weather to the northeastern United States, but that is far from us. That's your Morning Blend weather check. We'll be back with more Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9 after these messages.
BTC gives more savings on the best fiber internet. It's super fast with super savings in every package. Compare and see for yourself. Enjoy up to 150 megabits per second plus 157 TV channels and unlimited home phone minutes for only $99.99.
Best rate, no delay.
Visit a BTC store to sign up for the best internet experience on the Bahamas' best fiber network. Conditions apply.
Unlock your home potential with a home equity loan from RBC and let your greatest asset fund your home improvement and personal projects. Switch your mortgage to RBC today and experience the difference with no management fees, cash back on closing costs, and step-by-step guidance from our team of expert mobile mortgage finance specialists. Learn more at rbc.com/Caribbean/equity loan. Reimagine new ways to bank better with RBC.
So why not your business too? At Custom Computers, we've been maintaining our knowledge and relationships with top tech companies since 1987 and carry only the most trusted brands like Apple, Microsoft, HP, and more. No company has helped more businesses build reliable IT systems than Custom Computers. You name it, we've done it. Call 396-1101 to talk to any of our business experts. Find trust in your tech. Count on Custom Computers.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM.
Babylon, we can't take no more.
Yo, the DJ comes alongside Jehem.
Babylon, we can't take no more.
Blessed love every time. Set it.
Too many youths are gone. Police brutality. Police brutality. Another youth dying at the street. Too much immorality. No need for abuse or authority. Police brutality. Another youth dying at the street. Too much immorality.
We're back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Chester Robards on this Wednesday morning, getting a reaction to what's in the news today, including what the National Security Minister says. He wants answers onto a lot of these issues that have been happening over the past few days, just not making any sense how the police could put this man in a cell with a woman and then she goes on to be indecently assaulted by this person. And this viral video, chaotic scene with the young woman being choked by a plainclothes officer. Just odd stuff there. On the heels of an off-duty officer knocking 9 teeth out of a guy's mouth a couple of years ago. And there's so many stories like this. Going back years, as we heard from a caller earlier, a situation not being resolved as yet. And just answers. So many people wanting answers. Call in 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us 422-4796. All right, so it's also the first sitting of the Parliament. They're going to be getting down to business today. That begins at 10 o'clock, and we're told the Prime Minister is going to give his preliminary report on the state of the economy and announce his government's may provide economic relief for Bahamians. A supplementary budget statement expected today. All right, so it's going to be interesting. Let's take this call. Good morning, call. You're on the air.
Morning, Dwight and Gas.
Hi.
Before I put the police on blast, I put you on blast. This is my fourth time, man. Dwight, fourth time calling. Everybody who called, don't be on landphone. This is my cell phone. I had to call you 4 times. You would just you all owe me $12 for my plan back. Listen, what you expect from the police force, we got to call it what it is. I'm not talking about the good apples. We got plenty good apples with it. But
right.
From its inception, when they put those recruits in the police college, right, they be shouting at them, they be screaming at them, they be cursing at them, they be doing all kinds of things, the canteen right on beat, all kinds of things. So what type of officer you think they can turn out? With some of them officers, what type of officers? Second to that, when I was going on the police force, I was given, for a couple of dollars, I was given the test. And I sure that probably this happened. Same thing on the road.
What?
I was given the test. Not given. I was sold the test for the police force. I didn't go, but I was sold the test. So what kind of office do you think they can turn out? See, all these things need to be said and tightened up on that Royal Bahamas police force. You understand me? The corruption in that police force is wide. And when my girlfriend wanted a driver's license, I bought the driver's license from in the back of the police college. You got to say what's going on. So people like Mr. Wayne Monroe, excellent person, and Joe Mo Campbell, by the way, you got to say what's happening, right, so we can address it. Any kind of things what's going on in the Royal Bahamas Police Force. You could literally buy a driver's license from the back of the police force. Anyway, thanks for taking my call.
Wow. Okay. All right. Yeah, thanks a lot. That's a tricky one because, yes, it's wrong for them to be doing that, but it's also wrong for you to be buying it. So everybody is to blame here. Everybody.
That's what they say about drugs, right? If they ain't a market for it,
right,
it can be a problem.
Yeah. So yes, we call out the bad stuff, but stop encouraging the bad stuff. But yeah, now the previous point you made about the shouting, they say that it'll be to harden folks up and that they're going to be encountering all manner of nonsense out there on the streets, right? And people are going to be trying to hurt them, and they do need to be toughened up. But what we find here is that they are unable to switch in the scenario, in the situation they're in, right? So in a scenario that will require you to be tougher, okay, you're going to be tough. But when you need to be more compassionate and calmer, you're talking to somebody as if they're in the military, and right, and it's so bizarre. It's so bizarre, and it's not across the board. I've had encounters with police officers who've been so very gracious and kind and cordial and courteous, right?
Yeah,
but then
absolutely.
there's the one who's the drill sergeant. And like, why are you talking to me like this? What is your issue?
Yeah.
And I don't know what needs to happen there. And maybe they were like that before they got in the force. You don't know. But so many people have experiences with that drill sergeant officer, and that it seems to be the modus operandi of the RBPF, right? I don't know. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Another call. Good morning, call. You're on the air.
Good morning.
Hi. Hi, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. My question is police force allowed to work in private businesses in Grand Bahama? Since Hurricane Dorian or after, I have noticed that police is working in a food store in Grand Bahama 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. Opening doors, sanitizing people in uniform. How is this allowed? Up to yesterday, I've been in there and I saw 2 sergeants working in there. So I want to know if that's allowed by the police force.
Yeah, that's something else. I know a lot of people are seeing these things. I've seen it myself here. Police officers looking, they were performing like a security guard, right? And
Security guard in uniform.
yeah, it's very scary.
So I'm kind of surprised to know since Hurricane and the pandemic, they're still in the food store. Opening doors, even checking people's receipts and all. So I don't understand if that's what the police force is part of their job.
Yeah,
So
very
I'm
disturbing.
we
don't know. We don't know. We need some clarification on that. People have seen it. People have seen it all over, not just there in Grand Bahama. I can tell you that. And especially at Christmas, it's bizarre. You know, when they put the officers at the stores and the banks, and then they start to take on, like you said, sanitizing people and helping people with stuff. I'm like, wait, that's not what you're supposed to be doing. Like,
But this is one store, one specific store, one specific food store. I don't see it anywhere else in Grand Bahama, so I don't know why police is there. I mean, maybe that's part of the work. So I'd like to explain that. So I'm going to hang up and listen to you.
yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much. And I know the police officers, I'm sure the commission knows about this as well, and people have many questions about why that continues. There are certain places where the police seem to be running security in uniform for these establishments. It is very odd. Very odd.
That's how they make.
Yeah. Someone's saying, oh, yeah, they can call the police association for that in uniform or off duty. When you're off duty, you do that on the side. I mean, you really? Oh, is this right? All businesses can have this for a fee? I don't think this is the way it should be, though. I'm not sure that you've heard that before.
Yep.
If you pay, you can have the police act as security for your establishment?
Yep. It's always been that way.
Are they off duty when they're doing this?
That's a good question. And who do they pay? Do they pay the officer or do they pay the police force? I don't remember that part. It might be a police force thing. But they wouldn't be on regular duty if they are doing it. Be held to the same account as an on-duty police officer because they're in uniform? Because that makes a difference, right? Anyway, lots of questions.
What? You pay the police association and they're off duty, but they're allowed to wear the uniform. That's okay. This is some wild stuff. It's like overtime. Other people are mentioning this too. Everybody's fine with this. Y'all know about this, and everybody's like, "Oh yeah, this is how it is." Okay. No issues there. No issues there. Another one. The police are allowed to work private fee duties. It's legal and not only done in the Bahamas, but in the U.S. Police officers never off duty, but you're in uniform, right? I don't know if they can be in uniform and be working. I don't know if that's how it works in other places. I know that that's a thing. Yeah, you're off duty and you're working, but okay. In the stores and at ATMs, they're supposed to make the community safer and keep the peace. That's a good thing. Yeah. I have no issue with that, no issue with that. But like I said, I was at an establishment and the police, I went to see somebody, a manager or something, and the police officer is the one that's helping me. Oh, we're here to see. Okay, let me take it to them. Like, no, officer, you don't need to do that. Yeah, I'll take it. Like, what? It's a strange place. This is a strange place. All right, everyone's messaging about this. Okay, we're going to pick up this on the other side of the news. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
The government boots, left, right. The government boots, left, right. The government boots, left, right. The government boots.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com. That's 422-4796. And now at 8:24, time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. Here's what's happening. We've got a weak frontal trough that will produce some shower activity while weakening across the area and shifting eastwards, as a dry air mass keeps mostly pleasant and very warm conditions in place across the majority of the country through tonight. For all areas today, we're looking at mostly sunny, hot, and humid conditions with isolated showers and the chance of isolated thunderstorms, mainly near the trough today, becoming fair and warm with a stray shower or two possible tonight. Temperature-wise, we're looking at highs getting up to around 90 Fahrenheit, 32 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to 75 Fahrenheit, 24 Celsius. In your extended outlook, that trough will spark limited shower activity as it gradually weakens and dissipates across the central Bahamas on Thursday. Meanwhile, a cold front with its associated prefrontal activity will impact the northwest and central Bahamas as it enters the area by early Friday morning. So for tomorrow, Thursday, that's going to be mostly sunny, hot, and humid conditions with widely scattered showers near that trough. Friday, cloudy, warm, and breezy with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms in the northwest and central Bahamas. Partly sunny and hot with isolated showers in the southeast Bahamas. Again, we're expecting some very different and refreshing conditions by the weekend into Halloween and for the start of November with that cold front moving in this weekend. In the tropics, that deepening non-tropical low-pressure system, now nor'easter, located about a few hundred miles east-southeast of Cape Cod, Massachusetts, has a medium chance, still about 40% chance of tropical cyclone formation through the next 5 days as it moves east-south, eastward U.S. That's your Morning Blend weather check. Brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. What's first for you comes first for us. Got another check of your traffic for this morning. Brought to you by RBC Royal Bank. Here's what's happening. We've got Gladstone Road seeing some heavy traffic just north of Fire Trail. You'll see that in the northbound lanes mainly up to JFK Drive. That roundabout JFK Drive looking a little congested for you this morning as well. Milo Butler Highway also busy north of Fire Trail. You'll see that all the way up to Tonic Williams Darling Highway in the northbound lanes. Blue Hill Road also busy for you, especially north of Soldier Road. Northbound to Independence Drive. Independence Drive also busy, backed up quite a ways westbound to that roundabout with Blue Hill Road. Further south on Blue Hill, you'll see that traffic there near Carmichael and St. Vincent. And Carmichael eastbound is going to be busy heading toward Blue Hill Road this morning. Other hot spots for you, we've got Eastern Road westbound, just west of Fox Hill, you notice that, up to Johnson Road. And Burnett Road has been busy for the past few weeks, mainly westbound lanes, but also eastbound, as we've got a couple of schools in the area that are open. And Prince Charles Drive at major intersections, you'll be seeing that traffic there. Those are your hottest spots. That's your real-time traffic and your Morning Blend traffic alert, brought to you by RBC Royal Bank, banking reimagined.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Left, right, the government boots, the government boots. Left, right, the government boots, the government boots. Left, right, the government boots, the government boots. Left, right, the government boots, the government boots.
And we are back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan with Chester Robards. Coming up in a few minutes, we're going to be talking to Doctors Hospital about their ambulatory surgical center. That's coming up in just a bit. All right, so for the break, we were talking about, we had a very interesting direction, Chester, but now we're talking about we definitely have to have the Police Staff Association join us. Full discussion on this. But so getting lots of information about this. And so my issue, and I've known about this for years, that off-duty officers do work. But the challenge I'm having is that you could do this in your uniform, right? That's a challenge for me. And I've got the information on the police force's website about this. And I'm doing some searches online. This is a challenge for people all over the world, right? So everyone knows off-duty officers are working. But to do that job in your police uniform people having real discussions about this globally, whether that part should be accepted. Anyway, so this is what the police force's website says about hiring a paid police officer. The Royal Bahamas Police Force offers policing services to assist special event organizers. Special events policing requests are available, or applicable rather, to private, for-profit events as well as for charitable events. The RBPF Police Staff Association may provide the services of a uniform or plainclothes police officer. Depending on the specific event, there may be a cost to event organizers. Rates charged will be those in effect at the time of the event booking. Note, any cancellations or changes require 36 hours advance notice to avoid minimum charges. Duties related to special events include, but are not limited to, parades, roadway events, festivals, civic celebrations, major concerts or sporting events, shows, traffic control, building escorts, oversized weight load escorts. What now?
Oh, that's awesome.
What is that? Okay.
Got to pay for that too?
Security and crowd management. Special events may be a one-time, infrequent, or annually occurring activities that take place within New Providence or the Family Islands. Applying for special event policing assistance. All requests to the Royal Bahamas Police Force for assistance at pre-planned special events must be made 30 days in advance of the event. However, in exigent circumstances where only minimal planning is required, applications may be received within 30 days of the event. Depending on size, scope, and event history, applicants may be requested to meet with the officer in charge of the event to provide additional information or provide clarification regarding the application. Address and deliver your request to the Police Staff Association, Royal Bahamas Police Force, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Right.
Great.
Well, everybody's fine with that. Okay. Let's see what your messages are saying. Everybody's like, where have you been? Okay.
Where have you been, Dwight?
Yeah. Okay, let's read these. The police are the only institution that gets promotions and raises consistently. If the legislative government won't comply, then they will feel insecure, like that president down south. What now? I don't know what that means. I don't know what you're trying to say. And anyway, okay. The Royal Bahamas Police Force is a semi-military organization. The type of training is based on military training. It's all psychological. So on graduation, they will be able to deal with especially people who are difficult, and they would be able to cope. This is back to the caller who says that they are too, I guess, gruff. Dealing with folks. Also, the caller who said he purchased police, he should be arrested. He is just as bad. Dwight, where have you been? The police association arranges that not only in uniform, but they are also armed with a government-issued gun. Because this happens in the U.S. doesn't mean that it should happen here. There are many unemployed people who can be employed for those jobs. Well, that's what I'm thinking.
No, I don't know about the gun situation. I don't know about the gun situation.
That's kind of weird. I think it's a good thing for the police to be close to society. The police and the establishment should establish clear boundaries for what they won't do. Checking receipts is an absolute no, right? They signed it too. I remember that at Christmas time. There was, like how the security people often sign. I think that's, anyway, I saw a police officer doing that. Anyway, helping an elderly person to their car if they choose to. Keep the outstanding ones and weed out those disgusting, angry men who are slapping 19-year-old girls and knocking people's teeth out. Someone says here, it's called private engagement. It happens all over the world. All officers at Walmart, for example, are off duty and privately engaged. The same standard is employed. Okay. I've seen a very wrong side of the private engagement of police officers through the Police Staff Association. If they approach a property and the landlord does not agree to engage them, they lobby the tenants to push the private engagement by telling the tenants that if they are not engaged, the police cannot guarantee their safety during the Christmas season.
So some bullying going on? Is that what they're saying?
This one says here, Dwight, stop acting slow. You can pay for off-duty officers. It happens in the States. Those officers sitting in front of the major stores are off-duty. Businesses can hire police. They pay the police force, and they will be in uniform. Where do you guys live? Okay.
Where do you guys live?
Can you ask the officers at Wolf Road Police Station if placing suspects in the trunk of a car is standard? Oh, dear.
That's what they put me.
Just what now? In the trunk?
In the trunk of a SUV.
Just something I observed last week while passing that station. What? Wait, Chester, you need to come back and tell this story.
Man, I done told this story a couple of times.
What happened? Who was in the back seat? They couldn't put you in the back seat?
No, the back seat was full.
With people?
With officers.
Oh, I see.
So they threw me on top of their riot gear.
Oh. Okay. This one here, that's why they use it. The uniform is the largest part of the security, not to mention they have a direct other men with big guns. Traffic control, where does that happen? Oh, I know exactly what they're talking about. I've seen that as well. Yeah, there's another text. They put people in the SUV, in the back of the SUV all the time. Well, everybody's so comfortable with everything. It's beautiful how you all are. Everyone knows these things. People off duty, they wear uniforms and walking around. And okay.
That doesn't mean we're comfortable with it.
Yeah, but no one's saying anything, and then you're insulting me.
I say it all the time.
Telling me I'm slow because I don't know about the things.
Listen,
wow.
That's why I said that the police force is operating with impunity. And that it is a fraternity. It doesn't tell on each other. And when people complain like we do on the radio all the time, and people who text in and call in, nobody does anything anyway.
I see. Okay. All right. Well, this is
well, you have to take them to court.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you have to do.
Yeah.
Clearly. And then win a couple $1,000.
Well, Yeah, I'm seeing. This is about the states now. Should we feel comfortable that the police can be essentially hired guns? Should we look at it like that? Is that an appropriate way to see this? If you can just hire a cop.
The other thing, Dwight, I understand. Someone said this to me maybe in passing, and maybe someone could verify this. But I understand that the police force causes the government to ante up a bunch of money every year over these types of cases. We might not hear about all of them, but a lot of people take the police to court and win, and win money.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay. Fascinating stuff. Okay, we're gonna have to explore this at some point soon. This is great. Okay, let's take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk with our friends from Doctors Hospital. That's coming up right after the break. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
To those affected by a hurricane, the damage is far greater than the eye pain of experiencing damage to your home. But there are people right here that can help. We're CG Atlantic General. We're your neighbors. We live here and work here too. We're always ready to answer calls and to process your claims as quickly as possible. So when a storm turns your life upside down, we're here to turn it around. CG Atlantic General. Good like that. Security and General Insurance Company Limited, trading as CG Atlantic General. Contact a CG Atlantic General broker today.
When engaging in physical activity, it is normal for the body to get tired and fatigued. In the same way, COVID-19 has brought on fatigue, but we must not give up the fight. Wear your mask over your mouth and nose, stay at least 3 feet apart from others, wash and sanitize your hands often, and avoid touching your face. Together, we will win.
This message is brought to you by the PAHO WHO Bahamas and Turks and Caicos Country Office, the Ministry of Health, and the Healthy Bahamas Coalition.
You have a new text message from Scotia.
Scotiabank is adding text messaging to its communication channels to keep customers in safer ways. As of November 4th, Scotiabank will be using text messaging to provide notifications on the minimum payment required for your credit card and due dates. Customers may continue to access their credit card statements on Scotia Online or through our mobile banking app. Learn more by contacting customer care-bahamas at scotiabank.com or call 356-1697.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Going down to Regatta, going down to Regatta, going down to Regatta, going down to Regatta. Following doctor's orders, I 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 going down to Regatta. This me again, boss, don't hang up. I feel so bad, it's really tough. Oh Lord, went to the doc and he tell me, but you got whititis allergy.
Welcome back, Ben, here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strong along with Chester Robards on this Wednesday morning. We're changing gears now, talking with Doctors Hospital about their ambulatory surgical center. Very pleased to have with us this morning from Doctors Hospital, Vice President of Medical Affairs, Dr. James Iferenta. And I believe we have registered nurse, is that June Reed with us?
Good morning.
Hi, good morning. Great to have you both with us. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right.
Also, you have, good morning. Also, you have Cheryl Seymour.
Oh, okay, you are here. Okay, so you're both together. Okay.
Yes, we are together.
Yeah, we were wondering. There we go. Cheryl Seymour, I was wondering if you were here. Cheryl Seymour, manager of the operating room, recovery room, and CSSD. Now, what is CSSD? What does that stand for?
That's Central Sterilizing Supplies Department.
Oh my, okay, sounds very important. All right, so let's talk about this. The ambulatory surgical center. This is something new. What exactly is this here that we're doing?
Well, Doctors Hospital per se, it's the ambulatory surgery center really deals with patients who will be admitted for procedures, and they will not have to be in the hospital more than 24 hours. They go home the same day. So it's for minor procedures that you come, have your procedure done, and you go home. So that is what an ambulatory surgery center is, a same-day surgery center.
Okay, and we can.
Is that the same thing as outpatient?
It's the same thing as outpatient, yes. And they just named it ambulatory because you're walking in, you go in and you go out. Outpatient surgery department, yes.
Fancy
new word.
And I can imagine this is especially useful now with what we're seeing with the pandemic and the need to get people in and out of the hospital quickly.
Yes. So we wanted to cater to the patients who will not be staying in with the pandemic so that they can go someplace, have their procedure done, they don't have to come to the main hospital at all, just come there in a quiet, safe, private environment and go home. Their procedure's done and go home.
Okay, so this is great. So we know that in the past few months, there have been a lot of elective surgeries have not been taking place frequently. So does that change now with this system in place?
Yes, it will change. We will be able to do the minor procedures for people who've had things waiting for a long time, couldn't get in because of situations in the main hospital. And so we'll be able to cater to those patients. And also in the main hospital, persons who were waiting with minor procedures, we'll be able to better accommodate them because we'll have the space. We'll be able to have the rooms to do them, and we'll be able to have the rooms to do the ambulatory procedures.
Mm-hmm. How much of a difference do you think this is going to make? And how many procedures are you anticipating are backlogged as a result of the pandemic?
I really can't give a number, but I know there are a lot. We have to be rescheduling and because of space and time. So once the word gets out and people realize that we can do it in an affiliated with the hospital, if anything, we have all the facilities that we have at the main hospital, we'll have there, then they will be able to, they'll start coming there. It's starting now. It's starting. We just started really last week having procedures.
Mm-hmm. All right. What are some of the types of procedures that are being performed there, and what will and what won't happen there?
Okay, what won't happen is major procedures that will have to stay in hospital. Like the major things that will have to go to the ICUs or to the 4th floor, the 3rd floor, or 2nd floor post procedures. We won't be delivering babies there. That's number one. We don't deliver babies there. Then, but the type procedures we'll be doing, like minor general surgeries, lumps and bumps, hernia repairs. We'll be doing like endoscopic procedures like arthroscopies, laparoscopic minor procedures that patients who do not have to stay in hospital. We also have a service line for pain epidurals for people who are having pain and they need a pain epidural and they will go right home. So we can facilitate that very well so that they wouldn't have to come in the congestion of the main hospital. So we're trying to take away some of the congestion and try to cater to our patients so that they can get in and get out.
Mm-hmm. People are still concerned about COVID, though, and how can there be a guarantee that that this will minimize any risks to folks contracting or getting sick?
Well, all of the staff who work there, we all have on our PPEs. They're donned. That they have all the PPEs on, but before you come for surgery anywhere, you have to be tested for COVID. If you're positive for COVID, you cannot be done at the ambulatory center. Okay? So we won't be doing COVID positive patients there.
Mm-hmm.
That is the first thing. We'll only be doing patients who are negative for COVID, and then they have to have a negative test within 72 hours. It can't be older than 72 hours. Then negative PCR. So we don't do COVID patients there at the center, and all of the staff are fully protected for us.
That is very good to know. All right, so what are some of the things that patients who are going to be coming in for these type surgeries, what do they need to do and keep in mind?
Okay, I'll let Lauren speak to that because she has been leading it. It's her turn to talk now.
All right, Nurse June Reed.
Yes, morning again. Patients, as one of the things they need to know is a new registration process that we are implementing, and that information is being forwarded to each surgeon. And then the usual preparation for surgery, like starving, having relevant tests done, labs, like I said, any tests. So just the basic things that you would do for any surgery.
Mm-hmm.
And then you receive the instructions as to where we are located, and making sure that you have somebody to pick you up after you have finished your procedure. And that's it really in a nutshell.
Also, we will be doing online registration, so the patients will not have to come to the hospital. So once your case is booked, registration will contact you and they will register you online, and so that you would not have to come into the hospital, you'll get everything done online. And you'll have to go and do your labs, and you'll do your pre-anesthesia checks, those things you will have to come in for to go to the different facilities. But everything is done online. You're registered online, and you just present yourself to the hospital.
Emergencies, will some of those take place there as well?
No.
Okay. Everything has to be registered. You're right.
Only scheduled procedures. Because emergencies, when an emergency happens, you don't know the status of the patient. You don't know what's going on with that patient. So only scheduled procedures would occur at Centerville.
Okay. Wow. Dr. Ifra, quiet so far. Tell us from your perspective what we can expect here and what we need to think about.
So good morning, everyone, and good morning, Bahamas. So this is ambulatory care is not new in medicine, but it's definitely a return of this service, and this has been accelerated by the waxing and waning of COVID. Many patients have missed dates for procedures, primarily daycare surgery. As the nurses have spoken to, Nurse Reed and Nurse Seymour, things that don't normally require coming to hospital. The COVID surges continue to limit access and limit operating room time. So what we see happening here is one-stop shopping for that kind of care, where it is that your proceduralist, whether it's an obstetrician, gynecologist, or a surgeon, or otherwise, gives you an appointment or gives you a time to be there. As we said, everything will be online. We do have anesthetists in-house who will provide anesthesia services. If you already have an anesthetist, and they're on our medical staff, they're welcome to perform anesthesia for you on the day of your procedure. We're going to have the support of our pharmacy services there. We will have the support of our outpatient service if there's the need for a follow-up, either wound checked or to have a dressing changed. And we will also have the support of patient relations navigators in the event that someone is late to pick you up. There's a problem with getting you out. There's a problem with getting you in. So daycare is very different from hospital care. And this is going to be a wonderful thing for persons who have missed dates for colonoscopies, who have missed dates for follow-up biopsies, who have missed dates for anything that can be done under a local anesthetic. And we hope to grow the compendium of services as we move along.
Okay. And this is not at the main hospital. It's just a little further down, further up the street. But tell us exactly where it is, where this is happening, the new ambulatory surgical center.
So it's number 67 Collins Avenue. And this is immediately south of the Calvary Bible Church, which is on Collins Avenue on the western side. So it's Collins and Fifth Terrace is the Fourth Terrace. Sixth Terrace, sorry.
Sixth Terrace.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I usually tell persons it's at the Superwash corner. So once you know where Superwash is, we're immediately east of Superwash.
Okay. Yeah.
Immediately east
People
the
of
orange building on the corner. So most people know where that is. Some people don't know immediately east. So it's easy to find. There's parking. There's assistance for parking. You will have to have someone drop you off and pick you up. And that's just a part of our procedure.
Okay. This is great stuff. All right. So again, you talked about Chester.
I was going to say, or ask, are the rooms, like the operating rooms, I guess, are they specially outfitted for this type of service? Or, different from what people imagine an OR to be?
They're set up.
Go ahead, Cheryl.
They're set up the same way as all operating rooms are set up. We have 2 operating rooms. We have 2 preoperative suites, and we have 2 post-operative suites. We have 2 rooms. They are fully functioning, fully equipped operating rooms.
Can they be used for other procedures as well? In case it's needed.
Yes, they can. We have everything there to use. If we need to go and do anything else, if we need to proceed to anything else, we have everything available. Okay, and so both of the ORs are fully functioning, full ORs. They're really nice.
Excellent.
Yes, it's just that we know that people have the fear of coming into the COVID environment. And so we're trying to cater to those persons to assure them that this center is separate from the main hospital. And so there's no fear that, okay, I'm coming into COVID because, I think some people are afraid of that. So the center, it was with that in mind that it was open, that there's no need to fear. This is in a separate environment, but the same facilities is available there. But you're out of the main hospital where we're housing COVID patients and so forth.
Mm-hmm. And if there's anything that we would require from the main hospital, like in an emergency situation, we have everything there. And in the event that you have to stay for more than 24 hours, then you will have to go to the main hospital. We would keep a patient for up to 23 hours. We have the facilities to keep the patients up to 23 hours. And then if it's more than 23, it goes on to 24. They'll have to go to the main hospital.
And if you're not a patient of a doctor at doctor's hospital, but you need to have this, you can book this for your doctor to perform the surgery there. Does it work like that?
I don't know if Dr. Ferrento wants to speak to this, but what we have in the OR, we have a list of physicians who are approved and who are registered to work at doctor's hospital. And so once these physicians are on our privileges list, they are able to do the procedures that they're privileged to do, that they have the qualifications to do at our center. But you have to be registered with doctor's hospital and have privileges to do procedures at doctor's hospital to work in the surgery center.
Okay. And on to that too, patients don't just call to book a case. Mm-hmm. They are seen by their physician, and the physician's office then calls the hospital, the OR, to start the process. So you don't just pick up the phone as a patient and say, I'm calling and I'd like to have this procedure done. Right. No, that's not the case. Okay. Your surgeon arranges it. And you're given instructions, RIA finances, insurance, insurance, self-pay or whatever. That they initiate that process.
Okay. All right. So how do we get more information and how do you get that process rolling if you do need to get that going? Give us those details.
Okay. To get more information, the telephone 3260. Or it's Surgery Center at doctorshosp.com.
All right. And you said last week you started with your first, you're open now and you're going.
Yes. We're ready to go.
You're ready to go. Okay.
We're ready to go.
Wonderful stuff. It's going to be a relief to a lot of people.
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming and sharing this with us. Cheryl Seymour, June Reed, and Dr. James Ferrenta. Thank you all. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Bye-bye. Have a good day.
You too. You too. We're going to take a break and be back with the drawing for today's Bahamas COVID vaccination raffle. Stay with us. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Earning zero interest on your savings at the bank? With as little as $100, you can start earning interest on your money while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank with the CFAL Savings Express Plan. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Call us at 502-7 .com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
Physical distancing isn't the same as being socially distant. I know that sometimes it can be a bit difficult not being able to engage in the in-person social activities that we did before, whether that be going to the movies or just hanging out in person. But remember that different does not mean distant. As the generation of technology, we can get creative in planning virtual parties with friends and family, play online games with friends, plan virtual family parties, start a cooking competition among cousins, or do a virtual dance party. If you do gather in person, however, remember to avoid gathering in large groups. Always ensure that you wear your mask to cover your mouth and nose. And remember, wash and sanitize your hands often.
This message is brought to you by the PAHO WHO Bahamas and Turks and Caicos Country Office, the Ministry of Health, and the Healthy Bahamas Coalition.
Reimagine Auto Wow with RBC Financing. Drive home happiness with RBC Financing affordable packages. Experience the RBC difference with up to 100% financing, extended repayment terms, and step-by-step guidance from a team of mobile experts. Find out more at rbc.com/Caribbean/autoloan. Reimagine Auto Wow with RBC.
Breakfast just got better at Wendy's. Introducing the Breakfast Biggie Bag. Enjoy a double sausage muffin with 2 square sausage patties, a freshly cracked egg, and toasted English muffin, a medium waffle fries, and an orange juice for only $5.25, VAT inclusive. And an apple pie for just $1 more.
Say what?
At Wendy's, better breakfast is all day. Offers valid in participating locations. Wendy's, different inside and out.
And we are back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan with Chester Robards. And it's time for another drawing of the Bahamas COVID vaccination raffle. And we've got 2 great prizes this morning, and 2 winners will be announced in just moments. Remember, you can be one of the people who wins, right? All you have to do are vaccinated or even partially vaccinated. Just go on to vaxbahamas.com, VAX, Bahamas.com. And it's a pretty simple, quick process. You register and you could be one of the names I call. Right? And we want to thank our partners with U.S.
Except mine. You're not going to call my name.
Yeah, probably not you. Or me. We've called so many names already. People are having a great time with this. And many more prizes to come. Today, we've got 2 great prizes, a $50 John Bull gift card and $200 in services at Palm Key Spa.
Ooh.
Yeah, so great price.
Lovely.
Yeah. All right, so let's begin with the gift card. The $50 gift card. John Bull gift card, $50. Today's winner is Tia M. Garland. Tia M. Garland.
Tia with a T.
TIA. Garland, GARLAND. You've won a $50 John Bull gift card. Congratulations, Tia M. Garland.
Well, it is almost the season for Garland.
Something else. All right. And then the other prize, the $200 in services at Palm Key Spa. Wow. That's a great one there. Okay. The winner is Rapunzel Pinder.
Hey,
Rapunzel Pinder. Congratulations, Rapunzel Pinder. You've won that $200 in
You can certainly go and let down your hair with a spa day.
You just got 1 million of these stored up, hey? Here you are. We need to get you a special prize for buns.
Hey,
Chester.
I'm here for it.
Oh boy. Anyway, congratulations, Rapunzel. You've won, and hope you have a great time there. So, okay, Rapunzel Pinder, the Palm Key, $200 in services, wonderful stuff. And TM Garland, John Bull is contacting you all to tell you how you can redeem and collect your prizes. So, congratulations again, folks. You can play. You can be part of this as well. VaxBahamas.com to be a part of the Bahamas COVID vaccination raffle. So, call some more names tomorrow and every day this week. Hey. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Morning Blend Business, we're talking with our friends with Arawak X, getting an update on where things stand with them. Always something exciting that's coming up. Stay with us. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
It's all right. We're gonna have a good time tonight. Let's celebrate. It's all right, baby. We're gonna have a good time tonight.
Hurricane season is here. If you're not prepared, it can really turn your life upside down. Fortunately, there's CG Atlantic General. Our people are here, ready to assist at a moment's notice. With protection like alternative accommodation for those who are displaced due to a storm, it's our priority to make sure you have what you need when you need it most. We can help to turn it around. CG Atlantic General. Good like that. Security and General Insurance Company Limited, trading as CG Atlantic General. Contact a CG Atlantic General broker today.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and carb body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
People helping people to help themselves.
All right, watch this. The credit union of the Bahamas, drop card ain't got nothing on them. This the plug.
People helping people to help themselves.
Don't believe me? Join the credit union and watch your money grow like Chef and Needle.
Credit unions are smarter choice. Higher rates on your savings.
Yeah, go join one.
Credit unions are smarter choice. More money you make.
More what? Stop that.
Credit unions are smarter choice. Higher rates on your savings.
Let me get my money there.
Credit unions are smarter choice. More money you make.
Join
a credit union. Watch your savings grow with higher interest rates. Become a member and purchase some shares. Then ownership is coming your way. They offer local banking members don't have personalized service. Come and join the credit union, and your choice will be the smartest. Credit unions are the smarter choice. Higher rates on your savings.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
We are working to protect our country, our people, and our livelihoods so that we can move forward. The vaccine is safe. The vaccine is easy. The vaccine is essential for our recovery. If we want to rebuild our economy, if we want to get back to our jobs, if we want to get back to our lives, our families, we must do this together.
That's the sound of a bite-sized payment I made on my new laptop.
Can I make a bite-sized payment on this amazing vacation?
Yes, with Scotia Select card purchases are more manageable with flexible bite-sized payments over 3, 6, 9, or 12 months at a lower interest rate. Scotia Select Pay allows me to better plan my expenses over time. The best part? No credit checks or financing application. Visit bs.scotiabank.com. Conditions apply.
The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
morning again, and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Wednesday, October 27th, 2021. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan, along with Chester Robards, and this morning we are talking with Arawak X. They're back, and every time they're here, they have some major announcements to make, and we're looking forward to hearing what they have to say this morning. Very pleased to welcome back to the show DRC Ramming Jr. and Timothy Bain. Gentlemen, always a pleasure. Great to have you. Great to see you.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
All right. So we know that the most recent thing we've heard was that you're about to launch your third, or you might have done it already by now, third investment.
We weren't going to launch a company without inviting you guys.
Right. Okay. So where do things stand with that at this point?
10 a.m. on Monday.
Coming.
At 10 a.m. on Monday, we're going to do something similar to the last one that we did. Invite the press out, of course, so you guys can interview the founders. All I can say is that these two lovely ladies are young, they're ambitious, and what they're doing is amazing. I know I'm not allowed to sell the company, but it's in a space that we've been talking about for since I was like a little kid. So so that's 20 years I've been hearing talk about it, and so finally somebody has been able to step up and try and go after the problem.
Oh, really? Okay.
Well, that's exciting.
This is it's very special tease there. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's all you can say about it.
That is all that I can say about it. I'm a couple days away.
That is true. True.
So if you see me out at the bar on this weekend, I still will not say, even if you buy me a couple of drinks.
All right. So when we find out the company on Monday, how soon before we can start investing in the company?
As soon as the information becomes public, it becomes available for investment.
Yeah. Okay.
So just in the same way as the last two. The reason being, once again, for people that are listening, is because information is people can take advantage of it's certain information. We're trying to make a fair market.
Right. All right. So let's take a step back for those who might not have been paying attention or might not be familiar with what you've done so far, all of this excitement that we've had to deal with over the past few months. But tell us about Arawak X for those who might not know.
So Arawak X is an online portal that you can go onto, and what it does is it links investors and business for funding. So investors who have, you got a couple extra dollars, you want to put it into a possibly an investment that can possibly 10x, and then a business that is looking to take their business 10 times. And we bring them together over a regulated marketplace. So we're regulated by the Securities Commission of the Bahamas to do this business. And what it does is it allows you to invest in a space that was previously only relegated to high net worth individuals, accredited investors. And so there's a big movement around the world to democratize that space of finance. And so, there are a bunch of companies in the US and the UK. We're the first company in this region to do that and allow our companies to access that kind of funding, because it is the internet, so you can access funding from anywhere.
Right. And making it a lot more accessible to a lot of people. All right, so we know that you had two companies before. Where do things stand with them? I know they had certain targets they had to meet. Explain that whole process to us again. And are they meeting them? Is there a deadline before that has to happen?
So they have to meet a minimum target for the raise to be deemed successful. Once they pass their minimum, there will be an opportunity. They kind of set like a minimum and then a maximum that they'll take. There's an opportunity still to invest, but the raise is already successful. And so you could think of that like, for example, with one of the companies, it's a technology company. How they work is they scale very wonderfully. The more money they have, the more money they'll just spend in marketing and stuff like that. So that's kind of why you can do the minimum and maximum. And all businesses are kind of like that. And so they have 90 days to basically sell their idea to the public, and then the market judges. The market decides whether or not this is a good business idea. So what is going on with the two companies specifically is they are meeting some of their targets. Also, I'm not allowed to speak about information that's not public.
Oh,
but
so you can't tell us where they've passed it. They've passed the minimum.
When it's public information, we can have a conversation. When it's not public information, I can't have that conversation.
Okay.
However, that being said, I will say that they have a lot of hype. Both companies have a lot of hype around them, and we fully expect that they'll be fine.
And it's not been 90 days yet.
It has not been 90 days. 90 days is actually a really short time to do the whole finance dance.
Yeah.
If you've ever been a part of that, on the other side as a business person, financing it's tough. It takes a long time. It's one of the reasons why we stepped into, we were working with companies doing financing, and it's sometimes you can be looking for financing for years to grow your business. It's crazy. So what the 90 days though does allow is it means that the investor's money doesn't get tied up waiting for that. So remember, our job is investor protection as well as facilitating the marketplace.
Yeah.
So that's why the 90 days.
When will the 90 days be up for those two?
I think it's a little bit less than 30 days now. So so they're coming into the last third if you're a hockey fan.
Sometime next month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you are new to this and you're waiting for your ASU draw, this will be, you still have some time.
You still got some time. You still got some time.
Okay.
It's I'm just getting a note. November 22nd. Both are November 23rd. I apologize.
Okay.
Both are.
All right. So just under a month.
Yeah.
Just under a month.
Just under a month.
Yeah. All right.
So.
That's good stuff. What are some of the things that we'll talk about the companies in a bit, but if you are new to this, if you are a potential investor, what are some of the things you need to keep in mind, and whose is right for, whose is not right for, if you want to take part?
With all investing, never invest money that you cannot afford to lose. There is no such thing as a safe investment. All investments carry risks. Okay, now that we've gotten the legal disclaimer out of the way, so what's exciting about these kinds of companies is the only companies we're listing are those that have the potential to do 10x minimum. So, and the reason being is because these are riskier investments. Let's be honest. But at a certain point, the risk reward makes sense, right? If I put, because what the strategy venture capitalists use is they make a lot of bets. So they'll take their money, they'll divide it up, and they'll make a lot of them. And because they know carry all their losers. So we suggest that people take a similar strategy with their investment in this asset class. Make a lot of bets. Say, because, for you, I mean, not for you, but for most people, they could get their hands on a couple $100 to $1,000 at any time, maybe even 10 grand, maybe even a little bit more. Whatever that money that you can get your hands on, place that on a company. And then what will happen is if it 10x's, now you have quite a bit more money, and then you can start to look at, wealth management, wealth, safer, more stable assets, because now you have money. Safe and stable assets are really, frankly, for people who have got a lot of money sitting around. They're trying to preserve it. There's no sense putting your $100 down and looking for your 2% interest, 2% interest, 5% interest on $100. It's just not enough money to mean anything.
Right.
So, I mean, that's just the math of it.
Yeah.
And so this asset class is new. It's exciting. It's the first time really that some regulations have been put around it. Usually private equity is like the wild west of finance. You have to be really super savvy to participate in it. What we have done is, and we're working with the commission, I've done is put a rule set together that allows for certain things. So a little bit of structure, not so much structure that it crushes the company with regulatory reporting, but enough structure that this is not just any old person can just sign up and crowdfund. So we have a rigorous vetting process. It actually takes, so for companies that are looking to invest, it takes about 3 to 6 months for you to, from start to finish, to get listed on the platform. and we make sure we do all of our due diligence on people. We vet companies beyond just the normal due diligence. We do a team that produces magic. So team stands for the executive, advisors, and management. So who's running this company? Take a look at who's running this company. If they've done something similar or have the potential to do it, then that makes sense, because it doesn't matter how great the idea is, without the right team, it's not going to work. So that's the team. The magic part is M, a market that is big enough. So market means enough customers. A, you have access to those customers. G, growth of at least 10 times. You're trying to grow your business at least 10 times. I, you're doing something innovative. And innovation doesn't necessarily mean technology. It means something new. And there's a lot of ways in business to do something innovative. And then C is that corporate governance that lawyers and accountants and everybody else loves to talk about. Finance people spend majority of their time talking about, but is not the running a business.
Right.
All that.
All right. So you did answer the next question about the companies that what they need to do and insure. So I know I've asked this before, but are there companies for which this is just not the right way for you to go?
Yes. So there are definitely companies where this is not the right way. So if you are in a highly speculative, or if you have to keep the idea secret because it's not at the point where you could take it to the public, you cannot use crowdfunding. Crowdfunding by its nature is very public enterprise. You will literally have the whole town talking about you and your company. And so if you're not willing to put yourself and your company in that position, don't do crowdfunding. That's not where crowdfunding is, though, is it allows you to really reach out to your customer base, engage them in a way that wasn't necessarily possible in the past, because that's 1,000 evangelists for your company that are going to make sure that everybody that they know is using the product, because at the end of the day, it's their company. And so it's a different way of looking at the relationship between ownership and society of a company. And so it's new, it's exciting, it's what exists in public markets, but the technology and the regulations have brought it down to companies under $10 million can now access this as a tool.
I have this is a tricky question, but I mean, are the companies here, or the majority of them, too traditionally minded for this? Do you think this is a certain type, a cutting edge type mindset?
I don't think so.
So,
and the reason being is, I think what is in the past, and this is me speaking, not CTO of Arawak X. This is D.R.C. Browning Jr.'s opinion. What has happened in the past is because business people haven't had tools, entrepreneurs haven't had tools. They've had the tools of going to the bank, and banks are naturally conservative, and you can only borrow as much money to your collateral. So what ends up happening is people fit their ideas to the amount of collateral they have, and so what has happened is you've seen some really great business minds have kind of had their feet and hands tied and then thrown into the ocean and expected to swim. And then people are saying, hey, why can't you swim? We gave you the money you needed, but you tied the guy's hands and feet with debt. And so he was never able to get the business to the point. And so he's undercapitalized. So it's and when I say this has been a problem since, the foundation of the country, there are a lot of really, really excellent entrepreneurs here. And I'm just one of them from my generation, but even in previous generations of entrepreneurs who didn't have an opportunity to get out in front. And we see the results of it now. Our economy is basically built on the pillars of tourism with a little bit of financial services. And then when a pandemic or any world event happens, our economy goes crashing down.
Yeah.
Mind you, there are many, many smart people that are here that have degrees and business experience in other industries besides tourism and and financial services. But we haven't supported them. Well, the truth is there wasn't really any mechanisms to support them. And so it was a structural problem because at the end of the day, without capital, you can't do anything. You can't buy a car. You can't send your kids to school. You can't buy a house. You can't build a business. And it's only businesses that really employ people and pay taxes that make sure our society runs. So when we get the businesses properly funded and right, then all of our economic problems are going to go away. Well, not all of them, but they'll put a big chunk dent into it.
It'll be well on our way, definitely. Chester, you were...
Yeah, I was going to ask, is Arawak X still, or are you allowed to, for some of these companies that come to you, maybe this is an extra feature, but allowed to help them to structure themselves so that they can be listed on the platform?
Yes. So so it is kind of like a little bit of a hybrid between, this is coming from our management consulting.
Right.
We realized that without being structured properly, if a guy says, I want to be the next Google, he can't give up 51% of his company in round funding. He has to have chunks of his company to be able to do additional rounds of financing. And so the structure and the financial structure of a company is just as important as the business itself, because otherwise you run into a wall that stops you from moving beyond that. And then those companies just basically, they become zombie companies for the next, 10, 20 years until someone in the corporate setting is brave enough to rip out the whole financial model, which is very difficult to do, by the way, once you stagnate as a company. So what the Americans have discovered in Silicon Valley is you just set these companies up from the beginning to grow as fast as possible, because growth is everything. And so what you have now is you have companies in Silicon Valley that are literally going from foundation to NASDAQ, New York Stock Exchange, billions of dollars of value in 7-8 years. That's like, you send your kids to school, 6th through 12th grade, and that's the company goes from 6th to 12th grade and is now worth several $1 billion. So we can do that here too. We have the minds to do it here too, but without the structures, it was never going to happen.
Yeah. Are you seeing a lot of magic walk into the office?
I'm seeing a lot of magic.
Really?
And where you really see it is you see it when you have, like I said, that team that's multidisciplinary walk in. Because then at that point, it's like, okay, this guy has some of these great qualities, and then this guy over here, or this lady over here is filling in the gaps. And it's really that, and people who understand that they need each other to kind of make this thing work, because nobody can go after a big whale by themselves, a whale of an opportunity by themselves. You need teams of people to talk about, allowing them to, we at Arawak X are there, allowing them to tell their story, take it to the market, and then let the market decide, which is what business is about, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, we're going to take a quick break and be back with more. We're talking with DRC Ramick Jr. and Timothy Bain with Arawak X. This is Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Girl, Junior just showed me Bella Boy in his phone.
What you mean? He take picture of that good-for-nothing boy?
Shh, you don't want Bella here. You say that. You know she always say that's my good child.
So what he doing in Junior phone?
Oh, he there because the police looking for him. He on their wanted list.
Wanted persons in your phone now?
Yes, child. And when police want to find anybody quick, after something happen, they can say your phone. Go to Google Play or App Store and search for Crack Crime Bahamas. Then pick install and we'll go straight to your phone.
There is also a section on missing persons?
Yes, girl. Everybody needs to get this app so police can tell us right away when these people go missing, just like an alert system.
Yes, it has numbers for Crime Stoppers Bahamas, so you can call and nobody knows it's you. Call directly to Miami and give the information without giving your name or anything about you. I tried the other day, and when I hear Junior and his boys talking about where they hide those guns, I walk quick round the corner and call that number.
Call 328-8477 from Nassau or 242-300-8477 from the Family Islands.
Earning zero interest on your savings at the bank? With as little as $100, you can start earning interest on your money while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank with the CFAL Savings Express Plan. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Call us at 502-7010 or visit cfal.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
Scotiabank is adding text messaging to its communication channels to keep customers updated in quicker and safer ways. As of November 4th, Scotiabank will be using text messaging to provide notifications on the minimum payment required for your credit card and due dates. Customers may continue to access their credit card statements on Scotia Online or through our mobile banking app. Learn more by contacting customer care-bahamas at scotiabank.com or call 356-1697.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM.
I've had enough of scheming and messing around with jerks. My car is parked outside, I'm afraid it doesn't work. I'm looking for a partner.
It's time for your morning business report brought to you by CFAL. Minister of Works and Utilities Alfred Sears says the government is working to ensure that anything regarding power production in the country aligns with the speech from the throne and the country's energy sector policy. He said he's been meeting with several companies interested in investigating renewable energy locally. He said this aligns with the government's commitment to ensuring 30% of the country's power is supplied by renewables by 2030 and ensuring the country carries out its commitment to mitigate against climate change. He's also saying he's not yet met with Shell North America on its ongoing negotiations with the BPL in regards to a power purchase agreement, but explained that he and will meet with Shell North America soon to discuss the company's future in the Bahamas. Agriculture, Marine Resources, and Family Island Affairs Minister Clay Sweeting says that Deputy Prime Minister Chester Cooper's invitation to Chinese investors to participate in the agriculture sector was likely not about actually farming the land, but about sharing expertise and innovation and innovative farming methods with the Bahamian people. Cooper's remarks during a virtual investment forum with potential Chinese investors began to draw some ire after being published in the media. Suggestions in the past about including the Chinese in the country's production of food have proved controversial. But Sweeting, telling Guardian Business outside Cabinet yesterday that the Chinese could be invited to share techniques with Bahamian farmers, and has been talked about for a number of years. You can read more about his comments in today's Guardian Business section. The Chinese government recently gifted 15 greenhouses to the Bahamas, which were accepted throughout the Family Islands. Toby Smith is sure Prime Minister Davis is a, quote, man of his word, and he's looking forward to a favorable conclusion to his battle with the government and Royal Caribbean International to develop a low-density beach club for Bahamians and visitors on the western end of Paradise Island. Smith telling Guardian Business yesterday that he's still primed and ready to go. He said funding remains in place and people have even offered to donate money to aid his restoration of the island's lighthouse. Royal Caribbean's bid to develop a beach club for its guests on Paradise Island is now up in the air, when under the former administration it seemed a possible straight shot. Both Smith and RCI are vying for a tiny piece of beach both investors say their projects cannot do without. Both investors apparently hold Crown land leases for that beach that overlap. Smith has already taken his battle with the government to court and has also had conversations with RCI. The government revealing to Guardian Business that it has met with RCI and waiting to converse with Smith about his project. Overseas, Britain's Treasury Chief Rishi Sunak is painting a relatively rosy picture of the state of the British economy following the country's deepest recession in about 300 years as a result of the coronavirus pandemic. In his annual budget speech to Parliament, Sunak said today that independent forecasters at the Office for Budget Responsibility are predicting growth this year to be about 6.5% up from the previous prediction of 4% just a few months ago. He also said that borrowing and debt will be lower as a proportion of national income than previously thought. The British economy, which suffered the worst recession among the group of 7 industrial nations last year, has been recovering over recent months following the lifting of lockdown restrictions, as well as a pickup in global trade. And from France, a hike in the cost of wheat is alarming French households who fear a possible rise in the price of the prized baguette, seen by many as a barometer of the country's economic health. Many bakeries around France are putting up signs warning customers that the long, crunchy staple could be going up in price from the average of about just over $1 US. The bread industry crunch has been linked to a 30% worldwide increase since September in the price of wheat, one of the baguette's key ingredients. This after bad harvests in Russia and rising energy prices that are making ovens more expensive to operate are also a factor. Businesses and consumers worldwide are already feeling the heat of higher prices from supply chain and labor constraints. Energy prices are affecting the Italian food chain as well, with expectations they'll push the cost of drying grains up. That could eventually raise the price of bread and pasta at supermarkets, but meat and dairy aisles are even more vulnerable as beef and dairy farmers are forced to pay more for grain to feed their animals and pass the cost on to consumers. In your market watch, recapping trading on the BISX from Tuesday, your market movers, APD Limited moving 215 shares, closing at 39.95 unchanged. Cable Bahamas moving 500 unchanged at 295. Commonwealth Brewery moving 200, closing at 760 unchanged. Consolidated Water unchanged at 223, and Emira Incorporated up 1 cent, closing at 1166. The BISX All Share Index closing at 2,085.54, unchanged. That's your Market Watch, and that is your morning business report brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
This is Guardian Radio 96.6.
And we are back here with Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strong with Chester Robards, and we're talking with DRC Ramming Jr. and Timothy Bain with AWAC X. And what's this now?
I am, and I didn't intentionally do this because I have my spiel about how I'm only allowed to say public information.
But you have an announcement to make.
Yes. So Red Lobster has passed its minimum raise.
Oh wow!
What? It went through compliance, so now it's up. You can check it. Yeah.
Go on.
Right while we were on air.
That is amazing. Okay. So let's break that down. What does that mean exactly? They met the minimum they intended to raise.
Correct.
And now, what does that mean can happen?
So what that means is that there will be a Red Lobster in the Bahamas.
Wow.
Yes, and so that's what's about to happen. Now, there's still time. They have a maximum, so they can still take some more investment, but there will be a Red Lobster. So,
well, this is amazing. That's
great.
Congratulations to everybody involved there, including you all, Arawak X. That's some good stuff there.
Well, it's it's like we say, it's about the market deciding. It's ideas and business people, et cetera. While they're figuring it out, it takes time. And so once you get the right combination and the right mix, if the market says it's supposed to happen, capitalism is supposed to be about. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Now, what does it say to you? What does it say about Bahamians and the money that's in the market, even though people are saying this has been such a rough year and a half and so many
people always
were taken?
Yeah, and it has been a rough year for most. And I think what it's saying is that people have realized that in order for you to save, to have money for a rainy day, a time like COVID, you have to invest. You have to take the money that you do have and put it to work for yourself somewhere, because otherwise, because like I say, right now with the twin pillars of our economy, it's another global bump, which seems to happen every 10 years. I'm sorry, I'm a millennial. I don't know really any good times in my life. It's every 10 years, the economy goes for a giant shock. And it's really only the people with assets that make it through that relatively unfazed. I wouldn't say unfazed, but are able to survive. With Arawak X, you can now participate. And that's what it's about.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay. This is very exciting stuff here. For the companies that are sitting back and watching and trying to see if this was going to work and now are like, okay, maybe I can do this. What would you say to them?
I would say bring your ideas to the market. You're like I say, we have a ton of really great entrepreneurs. I'm not the only millennial that is a great entrepreneur. I know there's a bunch of Gen Xers and I wouldn't say and baby boomers that have excellent ideas. Bring your ideas to the market. Not only will you be able to use crowdfunding to market and expand your customer base, but you'll also expand your support base in a way that wasn't possible in the past. And so it's also what it does is it creates an environment where people will walk up to you and say, hey, I was in your restaurant and that waitress over there did some nonsense. Mm-hmm. Okay, you wouldn't have that information because business in the 21st century is about information. And the more you can pull your community into your business, the more effective your business is going to be.
Yeah. All right, we've got a call. Let's take this call. You can call in as well. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, and text us. 422-4796. We've got a few text messages too. We'll get to those in a bit. But caller, good morning. You're on Morning Blend Business. Are you there? Did we lose a call? 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Okay, this person's asking on our text line, what percent is paid on the minimum investment?
Percent paid on the minimum investment. So like a fee, how much is the fees to invest? Is that what you're saying?
How much they're going to return?
Yeah.
The returns?
Yeah.
So it's a pure equity play, which means that you grow in proportion to the major shareholders. So if they are able to 10x their shares, you 10x yours. If they're able to do more than that, you'll do more than that. So I can't say as a percentage. It's not like a structured product where they design it for you to get a certain percentage back. You have full exposure to the company.
Okay.
Risk and the reward of it.
Right. Now, this is also a tricky one. Do you think in this small country, in this small market, that there's the potential that the well could run dry? That after a few more of these successful crowdfunding initiatives or companies that sign up for this, that at some point, everybody's tapped?
Well, let me just say, let me give some. This is data, central bank data. There's about 2.6 billion Bahamian dollars out there that are not doing anything.
Wow.
Yeah. So we'd have to do quite a few.
Billion with a B?
With a B, yeah. There's actually $1 billion in cash that they can't find, so it's probably under people's mattresses. No, I'm serious, like Bahamian dollars, yeah. So it's we have to remember that our twin pillars of tourism and financial services were really good to us. We're a relatively well-off nation. Now, what we're talking about is how to get to the next level. And how you get to the next level is you take those earnings that are pretty good and you put them into investment vehicles that can grow because that's all it is. Like we earn as much money as Americans did in the 70s and 80s. There are very few countries in the world that do that. We make more money than the Polish on a per capita basis. So I say all that to say that, Bahamians are not poor. We just don't have ways of turning that income into wealth. And let me just say we need more ways of turning that income into wealth because there are ways already existing. But, we're adding a new asset class so that people can participate in some of the riskier but also more rewarding aspects of finance.
All right, so you definitely launching your third company on Monday, and you said it is a process. So do you have some others who are working through the process right now?
So we have 11 that are close.
Wow.
200 and something that have reached out, but I'm assuming some of them are not going to be able to meet the standards. Yeah. So it's a hunger. It's a hunger, and we reach out from the rest of the Caribbean, even some American companies that are looking to move down here. And recently we had a conversation with some folks on the western side of the island. Some European companies are trying to move here and list and to do to crowdfunding. So there's always more ideas in the world than there is capital. That's the beautiful thing about this space, and it's just about finding the right ones where we can participate, that have the right ethos, that want to make our country a wonderful and beautiful place. Because this is a sweet country. It just needs to be a little bit sweeter financially.
Yeah.
Is it possible that there have been people, if this is how the platform works, outside of the Bahamas investing in these companies?
Absolutely. We're working now. International investment is a regulatory, let me just say, it takes a lot of regulatory work. So we're working through that regulatory work. It's the internet. So that means at some point we can foresee a place where you can, reach out to anyone, anywhere on the world that's connected to the internet and raise money from it. Now, that's, like I said, there's a whole lot of regulatory stuff in between that. But that's the end goal, is to be able to raise money from wherever you are, from investors anywhere in the world for projects that are happening here and in this region.
All right. So if you didn't sign up before, when the first two companies were launching, and you're hearing about this now, you're all excited about the Red Lobster thing, and you heard the third company that you're about to launch on Monday, what do you need to do if you are interested in investing? Remind folks of what they will be required.
Go to arawakx.com, click I'm an investor. It takes 5 minutes. Got the process to signing up down to 5 minutes. You need passport, NID card. There'll be some other information depending on what you select. 5 minutes to go through the compliance process, 17 questions. If you want to sign up for someone that's under 18, what you do is you do a joint account, and then and that's the way to do it. So it's really quick and super simple. We worked really, really hard to revamp the process because the initial process wasn't making any sense. We've been listened to our crowd and our community, and we took the necessary steps to reduce it down to that 5 minutes. And so once you do that, you'll receive an email once it goes through compliance with your account information, and then you'll be ready to invest.
Yeah. And you said you can register now. You don't necessarily have to invest in the company that's coming up on.
Nope, you don't have that. It's free to register. Once you register, then when something hits your because we all have different types of industries that we like. We all have different companies. We all have different risk profiles that we like. But register now, and you'll be able to, when something pops up, you'll be able to take advantage of that as soon as possible.
And you can invest in several of the companies.
Exactly, and that's what we advise. That's a really common, really good strategy to diversify your portfolio. I'm sure you've heard that if you listen to finance stuff. So diversify your portfolio. Don't put all of your. This is not necessarily money that is for your. It's certainly not your pension money. Don't do that. But this is money that you can place a relatively. If you lose it, it's not going to hurt you. But if it grows 10 times, it's going to be a plus. So that's the type of money that you should be putting in these kinds of investments. And for everybody, that's a different number. So
yeah. And if you are a company and you want to be considered now, and what's the process for them?
Go right on arrowacx.com, click I'm a founder or I'm a company, and fill out the form, and someone from our equities team will make sure to get in contact with you, and then we'll start the process. The first thing is a Zoom or face-to-face evaluation meeting, and then we'll tell you where in the process that you are. Some companies are ready to go, and some companies are actually not ready to go. And so we would put them with a business developer in our network to make sure to get them to that point.
Okay. Let's take this call. Good morning, call. You're on the air.
Good day. This is Strachan, always along with you. Dwight, and of course your guest, and of course Chester. Dwight, a couple of questions, right? First, I would to have America having business in the Bahamas. But what I want to ask you, right? You read something earlier about a greenhouse in the Bahamas. How much the Chinese want for those greenhouses? You know?
I believe they were a gift, right, Chester?
Yes, they were
a gift.
Gift. The Chinese don't give gift for nothing.
You sure?
I'm sure. Would you investigate that so you could give the Bahamian public the facts of the situation?
Okay. All right. You have any questions for our guest with Arawak X? No? Okay. All right. So, Chester, you've got a project there to find out what they're up to. All right. So let's go through that breaking news again, DRC. This is great news. If people just tuning in and missed that earlier.
And it even broke to me. So that should tell you that it's in the middle of this thing.
All right. And what was their minimum? Can you say what the minimum was?
Minimum is 1.5.
Okay, wow. So they raised over 1.5 million.
So they're actually at 1
60.
point. They're at 1 point. Hold on, I'm just pulling it up right now. Quick. They're at 1.721975. That's what I have right now. And they can go up to a maximum of 2.7.
Okay. And they did that in about 60 days?
60 odd days, yeah. So, I mean, that's, and remember what crowdfunding allows you to do is, it shows you that there's demand in the market for what you're doing.
Yeah.
And so you can, of course, use that as leverage for investors of all kinds.
And the company is trading here. Is it Pinnacle? Is that right?
Pinnacle, yeah. Pinnacle Food Brands.
Right. Okay. So Red Lobster is coming.
It's coming.
Wonderful stuff there.
Not only to the Bahamas, but Caribbean
to the region.
Right.
That's right.
Their plan. And okay, that is very exciting stuff, and I'm sure we can't wait to hear again. No other teaser you can tell us about Monday.
I can tell you that they're young. They're some of the smartest women you'll ever meet, and they're passionate about what they do, and that is it.
Okay. All right, so just a few more days, we'll see. This is very exciting stuff. DRC Ramming Jr., always a pleasure. And Timothy Bay, I know you're there working hard as well. Thanks so much. And Arawak X, exciting stuff. We're going to take our final break and be back to wrap things up. This is Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay tuned.
My Gateway is the centralized, safe, secure way to access and pay for government services online. Go to mygateway.gov.bs and log in to request a police character certificate, renew your passport or driver's license, and more. Receive emails confirming requests and alerts when documents are ready. You must have a valid, government-issued ID in order to collect documents. Fast, easy, and convenient. Go to mygateway.gov.bs and register today.
That's the sound of a bite-sized payment I made on my new laptop.
Can I make a bite-sized payment on this amazing vacation?
Yes, with Scotia Select Pay. Now, my big-ticket credit card purchases are more manageable with flexible bite-sized payments over 3, 6, 9, or 12 months at a lower interest rate. Scotia Select Pay allows me to better plan my expenses over time. The best part? No credit checks or financing application. Visit bs.scotiabank.com. Conditions apply.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
We've got a quick final look at weather for today. Old trough is going to produce some shower activity while weakening across the area and shifting eastwards, as a dry air mass will keep mostly pleasant and very warm conditions in place across the majority of the country today. For all areas today, look for mostly sunny, hot, and humid conditions with a few isolated showers and a slight chance of isolated thunderstorms near that trough, becoming fair and warm with a stray shower or two possible tonight. We're looking at highs getting back up into the 90s, around 90 Fahrenheit, 32 Celsius, but overnight lows tonight getting down to about 75 Fahrenheit, 24 Celsius. And we're expecting some changes, though, as a major cold front is going to make its way in by Friday morning and bring some very cool and comfortable conditions for your weekend, including Halloween, and for the start of November next week. That's your morning blend weather check.
Choose the perfect time. It got the inclination, I have got the crime. There's a lot of opportunities. If you know when to take them, you know. There's a lot of opportunities.
And we are back here with Morning Blend Business, wrapping things up on this Wednesday morning. And a lot of opportunities. We've got to get people thinking like this and not just waiting and depending on handouts. So we've got the power, right?
That's
DRC
right.
Ramming? Yeah.
That's right. It's time, I believe, that we as a country make that next jump.
Yeah. And this is definitely helping. We're wishing you all the best and keep us posted.
Thank you. We're doing our part, and but it's up to the business community and the investment community to do their part as well.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. DRC Ramming Jr., Timothy Bain, thank you very much. That is it for us today.
Sir.
We'll be back tomorrow morning with more Morning Blend and Morning Blend Business right here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan, have a great day. Stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green coming up next.